4-5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Party people!
It's time to get this tailgate started and get you ready for the green and gold game. This is Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Broadcasting live from the shadow of the south end zone at Lambeau Field. Alongside Gabe Neitzel, here's Alex Strouf.
Thanksgiving Day edition, Green Bay Game Day, presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Snow is starting to come down here right behind me at Lambeau Field as I am live in Green Bay. A lot of Dolphins fans rolling through Lot 1 right now here in Green Bay as we get ready for the nightcap. Packers-Dolphins week number 13 in the NFL. Alex Strouf and the guy that clearly doesn't work enough. Once again working today. I feel like I've only listened to him today throughout the entire day. Gabe Neitzel with me, as always. Gabriel, did you even see your family today? Have you been locked in a radio studio all day? What have you been doing?
No, so I hosted my mom, my dad, my uncle came down. I had a friend who happened not to be going out of town to meet up with his family, so he came over. Just a nice little intimate, I guess, more Thanksgiving lunch, which is okay because that's traditionally when the Neitzel family has had Thanksgiving. Usually we typically eat right around 1 o'clock, so we did the same today. Smoked a turkey. My wife, got some mac and cheese, some potatoes, and all sorts of good stuff. So had a little bit of family time, and now we get to lock back into the football as, this is an important one for the Packers. I thought the Bears it looked like they might do the Packers a favor, and ultimately they decided to Bears it up at the end of that game to kick off today's football slate.
A timeout left in Detroit territory. They find a way to make the time run out.
Yeah, having the time run out on you when you have a timeout is such a fireable offense. I'm not saying that Matt Eberflus is going to be fired because it seems like they're just going to ride it out with him.
You can go ahead and say it, Gabe. You can say it.
Well, I don't know. I think he's going to be fired at the end of the season. I think what happened today was bad enough for me that he should have been fired before he walked into the locker room. Like that, it's just so inexcusable. Like how you have 32 seconds left, and yes, I mean, you got yourself into a bad situation because of illegal hands to the face, and then you take a sack. Okay, now it's third down. Hey, call a timeout. There's still plenty of time to try to get into field goal range, and because of that timeout, you get your field goal team organized. They understand it's going to be a fire drill to run out onto the field because you don't have a timeout left. This is all football coaching 101. And the Bears just find different ways. Like, when's the last time you saw a team lose like that? Like, the Bears invent new ways to lose. It's hilarious, but at the same time, you needed the Bears to do the Packers a favor because if the Bears would have won today, and it looked like the way they were driving, it looked like they could have scored a touchdown. Could have scored a touchdown to potentially win that game, and then the Packers win tonight. That game next week in Detroit on Thursday would have been huge for the Packers, would have been massive. But instead, well, now the Lions still just have one loss on their ledger, and if you want to keep pace, this is still an important game tonight for the Green and Gold.
Yeah, despite it being an AFC opponent with no huge wild card implications like last week against San Francisco has, like the rest of the season has, right? You're facing teams like Seattle down the stretch that still have a chance to get in. Probably not as a wild card, but still an NFC playoff team nonetheless. So these are all big games remaining under schedule when you're sitting at 8-3, when you still technically have a chance to win a division, though it seems like after today will likely be the Lions division to lose, as it has been all year. Getting you ready for Packers-Dolphins. Gabe, you were filling in on Greeny on ESPN Radio earlier this morning. Thanks for accompanying me on my ride up here to Green Bay earlier today. But I heard you say, the Dolphins worry me a little bit. I'm worried about the Packers. Maybe on upset alert on their home field today. Explain why.
Well, so we were doing a fun segment, which home, because every home team today favored, right? And maybe I should have listened to Randy Scott because he had the Lions on upset alert, and I was laughing all through the first half, thinking my co-host today had it all wrong, and then the Bears almost put it off in the end. But Look, if this was a game, I think I'd be even more scared if it was on a neutral site or if it was in a dome down in Miami, because that speed factor is always different for the Dolphins, and Tua's been playing really good football. So the fact that they have two of the fastest wide receivers in the league in Waddle and Tyreek Hill, the fact that Jair Alexander is out, the corners haven't really been that good. Like, the passer rating numbers when they're targeted have not been good. And Tua's been playing excellent football. 75% completion percentage, 11 touchdowns, 1 interception since he's returned after missing 4 games because of his concussion issues. Like, Tua's playing great football. And the only thing that I think you point to with Miami is, well, they've never won a game with Tua when it's under 40 degrees. Tua's never been able to do that, and all these different things. It's a situation where, based on where the Packers are beat up, if the Dolphins, get off to a fast start, the Packers start just a little bit slow, you're going to be having an uphill battle all day. This is just not a great matchup in my mind right now for the Packers based on the way the cornerbacks have been playing.
Yeah, and, as you mentioned, that Dolphins offense, very potent, very explosive, lots of potential with just the sheer amount of speed they possess on the offensive side of the football. You're once again without Jair Alexander tonight, Gabe. You're once again without Edgerrin Cooper tonight, Gabe. I mean, if the Packers are going to win this game, how many is it going to take? 31, 28?
Yeah, I mean, they're averaging 29 per game since Tua's come back. So I think you're going to need to get up in that 28 range. And the Packers defense, it really needs to lock things down today. It's, but I also think it comes down to the offense, right? You want to be able to continue to run the football the way you have the last couple of games. And I think that's going to help keep Miami's offense off the field, keep them out of the rhythm, keep them cold, looking cold on the sideline. I think that's such a big factor, especially in the first half. If the Packers can grind out possessions, have some long ones, get down the field, take an early lead, I think these are all things that could work in the Packers' advantage. But again, if Miami gets the ball first and they score first and it's quick, it's all about who can set the pace and set the tone. I think early in that first half, I want to see so many pictures of Josh Jacobs grinding out another 5-6 yard run. They cut to Tua. Yeah. He's got his hands in the little in the muff. He's got the hood up. And he just looks cold on the sideline. That's what I want to see. I want to see Tua standing on the sideline as the Packers just march down the field for a long drive, and he looks just cold on the sideline.
Yeah, 0-7 in games under 40 degrees in his NFL career is the Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. That is our stat of the day, Gabe. That will be the one we repeat over and over and over again for the next 3 hours.
Stat of the day.
That was good. That was a good rendition of that. 28 degrees right now, 27 at kickoff right behind me here at Lambeau Field. Snow has subsided for the moment. Seems like it'll flurry on and off throughout the remainder of the day. You mentioned the name Josh Jacobs. I've been so impressed with the way he has implemented himself, and Matt LaFleur has implemented him within the fabric of the Packers offense. He has been such a stud for this Packers offense the last couple of weeks. First 100-yard rusher in the regular season and 55 regular season games against the 49ers. That is a really long streak as Josh Jacobs has a great game last week. 3 touchdowns for him against San Francisco. How do you see him continuing that trend as it gets colder and colder outside?
To me, this is why the Packers brought him in, right? Like, this is why you signed Josh Jacobs instead of Aaron Jones. Because as much as everybody loved Aaron, as explosive as Aaron Jones was, like, this is just a different type of back, one that you could have never had this many games out of Aaron Jones where you're giving it to him 32 times, 22 times. Now he's got 24 touches. Like, he could 26 touches. These are not the types of games. These are not, that's not what Aaron Jones was good at. If you gave him that many touches, you'd worry about him breaking down. Josh Jacobs is just a different type of back. And even though, so would you say that the identity of the Packers, even though we all recognized the reason why, especially the last 3 games of the regular season and then the 2 postseason games, Aaron goes over 100 yards last year on the ground, a streak that he had never had in his career. I don't know if we would have said, yeah, the Packers' identity is run the football. This is a running football team. I don't think we would have said that last year. This is like the first time since almost like 20 years, I want to say, since Amon Green, that the identity of the Green Bay Packers is run the football. And everything else you do off of that is fantastic. And I mean, I think of that 2003 season when Amon Green had nearly 1,800 yards rushing, may have gone over that mark, just had a tremendous season for the Packers. Like, Brett Favre still had a lot of really good games. That was the year he had the game where he threw for almost 400 yards in Oakland after his father died. And the Packers were just able to do so many things with their passing game off of Amon Green. And I'm hoping that maybe we see a little bit more of an uptick of Jordan Love attempts. But if he's attempting 17 to 24, he only threw 23 passes this last week, but if he's in that spot, the Packers are in a really good spot. Like, the Packers are running the football. They're efficient with their offense. If Jordan Love is just hanging out in that mid-20s, and I'd be completely cool if that's where Jordan Love just hangs out for the rest of the season, is in that mid-20s pass attempts, because that means the running game is being efficient, and you can still, you saw the opportunities. If Watson doesn't drop that ball, Strouf, last week. I mean, the numbers for they're going to be off the charts. They're going to be fantastic for Jordan Love if Christian Watson finds a way to haul in that deep pass up the left sideline at the end of the first half. So you still have those opportunities in the passing game, and it's all because of what the offensive line, got to shout out the offensive line, and Josh Jacobs have been able to do.
What, you're telling me a dropped pass was an issue in a Packers game in 2024? Interesting concept.
Yeah, no, that's wild. Wild. And Matt Eberflus coached poorly today. Shocking. These are all the shocking things that have happened.
A lot of spoiler alerts here in 2024, no doubt about it. Green Bay Game Day, Alex Strouf, Gabe Neitzel hanging out with you, ESPN Wisconsin 620 WTMJ. Just a couple of cleanup notes. Yeah, Amon Green did go over 1,800 yards in 03. 1,883 yards on the ground for Amon Green. And you're totally right.
That was 1,900 yards.
Almost 19. And that was the last time I think we could really look at the Packers offense and go, yeah, just ground and pound, baby, ground and pound. This is a year where that needs to be the case. And to your point, it opens so many things up otherwise. The deep shots to Christian Watson, Tucker Kraft over the middle, the end arounds, the dump offs, the short passes to the Jaden Reeds of the world. If Josh Jacobs gets going, especially early in this game against Miami, Jordan Love's going to have a lot of time to find his spots throughout this game, and that's what's going to keep the Packers A, competitive, and maybe even B, win big by double digits if Josh Jacobs can get going early and often.
Yeah, and I think that's just going to be a really good thing for Jordan Love's development, right? Like, just taking some of the pressure off, letting him know that, hey, you don't have to do all of this yourself. You don't have to be Superman. You don't have to make Superman throws. You can just take what the defense gives you, and the plays are going to be there. The opportunities are going to be there. So often this season when he's thrown those interceptions, and granted, some of them, you're trying to come from behind against Minnesota, so you chuck one up and have that really bad interception in the end zone against the Vikings when he's coming off the knee injury. We've seen him try to make those Superman throws, and I wonder if that's because he's trying to put everything on his shoulders. So as long as Josh Jacobs continues to do what he has done, and B, let's be honest, the Packers' offensive, if not overall MVP, if he continues to do that, that just takes pressure off of Love, and I think that loosens him up a little bit, and maybe it gets back to, hey, I just got to let it rip. That was the phrase last year that Matt LaFleur used. Hey, we just got to cut this kid loose. We got to let him rip. And, that's what kind of helped propel them to what they did in the second half. And maybe the trigger ends up being this year, Jordan realizing, hey, let's rely on this run game. Let's rely on Josh Jacobs. Let's rely on Emmanuel Wilson if he gets some more touches because it's a short week this week. Let's rely on those guys, rely on the offensive line to open up holes, and then there's still going to be plenty of opportunities for me in this passing game.
That's Gabe Neitzel, Alex Strouf with you. Green Bay Game Day, presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Nothing says happy holidays like a Usinger's gift box filled with delicious Usinger sausage and cheese. It's always a crowd pleaser. Order yours at usinger.com. Before we get to break, Gabe, it's Thanksgiving. It's a day to show gratitude and appreciation. So I think it'd be rude of us to not acknowledge we have a Bears fan with us right now. Ashton Rotman is our producer today, back at the Gruber Law Offices. One Call, That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. Ashley, how you doing?
Hey, guys. It's Ashton. I don't feel good. I'm not having a good day. I'm having a much better day now talking to you guys, which is not what I thought I would have ever said.
Right.
Overall, not doing awesome. But, hey, Caleb looks okay, right? That's
okay,
the best I can say.
So after you saw Matt Eberflus pull a Matt Eberflus.
Yeah.
Have you thought any more about the offer that Chewy gave you on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on Monday when you filled in for Joshy? Have you thought any more about the offer from Chewy that he extended that you can jump on the bandwagon and you can become a Packers fan? Have you thought any more about that?
I have. I was thinking about it the entire first half when the
16-0.
But you know what? They should have been up by 40. So I felt progressively better about it. And unless Matt Eberflus loses his job, I don't know now. I'm going to have to strongly consider that tomorrow morning. I think.
I think you probably got at least 4 weeks and probably one more Packers loss with Matt Eberflus at the helm before you officially jump ship. But offer's open as far as I'm aware, so we will check back in with Ashton Rotman throughout the program today, see if he's feeling any better about both the Bears losing and the way in which the Bears lost, because it was beautiful to see. Happy Thanksgiving to us, Gabriel.
But here's the problem. The Bears,
you're right. I know exactly where you're going.
As much as it pains me to say, and as we had the game on as we were eating, because the way my house is configured, like the dining room and the living room is all kind of just one big room, so that's where the dining room table is. We had the game on, of course, because I'm going to be monitoring it, and my mom is, kind of rooting for the Bears. I'm like, look, I understand rooting for the Bears in this situation is better for the Packers in terms of the standings. The Lions need to pick up losses if we want to, catch them, potentially win the division. But also, I just can't find myself rooting for the Bears. I just can't do it, So it was one of those, I'm laughing, and I am enjoying the misery Bears fans are currently in. No offense to you personally, Ashy. But at the same time, if the Bears would have found a way to win that game, it would have done the Packers a favor.
It sure would have. And, you say that, but I will say this, Gabe. I was at my aunt and uncle's house for our Thanksgiving lunch, and I said out loud at one point, "Go Bears!" Yeah,
it just doesn't feel good coming out, right?
No, it doesn't feel good at all. But it would have felt good if the Lions had 2 losses on their record rather than 1, as the Packers head to Ford Field a week from today. We will continue to preview Packers, Dolphins. Want to touch base on Jordan Love. Didn't throw an interception last week. That's the first game he's played in 2024 where he didn't throw an interception. Are those problems gone, or are you still worried about the sporadic, chaotic nature that Jordan Love has shown us in 2024? We dive into that next. It's Green Bay Game Day, presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, right here on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
More Green Bay Game Day coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Get ready for the moment we've all been waiting for. It's the 300K season finale giveaway at Potawatomi. Friday, December 20th, watch your entries from Bird Bash, Cash Clash, and Winter Stash. All pile into one massive drawing for a chance at up to $50,000 cash. Be there to win your share. December 20th, only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Learn more at paysbig.com/finale. Must be 21 years old to play.
The time has come.
Yes, the time has come to do what you need to do.
You've put it off as long as you can, but the time has come to choose a Christmas gift for the woman you love.
It needs to be something that will fit perfectly.
Something she will wear constantly.
Something she will love.
Something you can buy today and take home today.
Because you ran out of time. Christmas is upon us.
It's time for you to buy a fabulous pair of diamond stud earrings.
A fabulous pair.
Kessler's has natural diamonds created in the heart of the earth.
And newborn diamonds created in the heart of a star.
And when you buy from Kessler's, you can always trade your Kessler's natural diamond studs in for a larger pair.
We have diamond studs for a few $100s.
And diamond studs for several $1,000s.
2-carat total weight natural diamond studs are just $5,998.
She's going to be extremely happy when she sees what you bought for her.
And that's a good thing.
A very, very good thing.
Find the Kessler's nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do, do it with a Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
It's WTMJ's Brandon Stein for Wisconsin Harley-Davidson. The holiday season is upon us, and Wisconsin Harley-Davidson has you covered. Stop in during their annual Black and Orange weekend this Friday and Saturday for fun surprises to stock those stockings with. December is full of shopping treats. Watch Wisconsin Harley-Davidson Facebook and Instagram page for more details. Be sure to check out WISHD.com for unique ways to purchase that motorcycle for spring riding. Stop by Black and Orange weekend this Friday and Saturday at Wisconsin Harley-Davidson, your destination dealer.
It started with a prediction.
We'll go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
Calling all green and gold fans. Ditch the stress and ride in style to Green Bay with the Milwaukee Broadhouse. With round-trip rides starting at $85 per person to every home game, you can enjoy all you can drink on the bus. No need to worry about traffic or parking. Milwaukee Broadhouse even has a private restroom on board. Upgrade your experience with an all-you-can-eat and drink tailgate package for $30 more. Don't miss out. Secure your seat now at MilwaukeeBroadhouse.com. Let's make every game day legendary.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. My training helps me at work when I lead by example. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my community and those I care about safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
'Cause I'm ready to go.
Green Bay Game Day presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin with you, ESPN Wisconsin 620 WTMJ. I'm Alex Strouf, just outside of Lambeau Field at the Tundra Trio in Green Bay. Interesting weather outside. About 28 degrees, sun's starting to come down, on and off snow flurries behind me. Gabe Neitzel is with me. It's not like he worked enough today, so appreciate him taking some time.
Before we get into
like you've
Jordan
got something
Love.
for me.
Well, yeah, because
I've got something for you too, aside from Jordan Love. So this will be a good segment. Yeah.
This just kind of came across, just following along on Twitter from Courtney Cronin, who is the NFL Nation Bears reporter for ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Eberflus. So if you missed the end of the Bears game, the Bears had a timeout. They had a timeout remaining, and with 32 seconds left, Caleb Williams was sacked. Instead of calling the timeout, they decide to try to run a play and take way too much time. It ends up being a ball that he throws way downfield, ends up being incomplete. Time expires. Bears end up having a timeout in their back pocket. Clock expires as they're trying to drive for a game-tying field goal. So Matt Eberflus, from Courtney Cronin, Matt Eberflus on having the game end by time expiring / not using a timeout before the eventual final play. Quote, I think we handled it the right way. It didn't work out the way we wanted it to.
Nailed it.
How do you double down on stupid? That's the thing I don't get about it. I understand, right? You're in a high-pressure, high-stakes job. But when things don't go right, it is okay to admit you screwed up. It is okay to say, hey, you know what? I made a bad decision. I probably should have used the timeout. We probably should have taken a second, took a breath, and figured out what the next decision was. But instead, he goes up to the podium knowing the seat he sits on is hot as the turkey I'm about to tell you about up the street, and he says, yep, I was stupid, and I stand by it. Why do we double down on stupid so often in the NFL?
Look, here's the thing, and Chewy tells us this all the time, right? Like, players are smart. Players get it. So any sort of veteran in that locker room is looking at the situation going, what the hell were we doing? Why did we not take a timeout? And for him to double down, to me, that's how you lose a locker room. When you double down on your stupid decisions that everybody who has an ounce of football knowledge understands was stupid, that's how you lose a locker room. And that's how teams start giving, because to this point, Strouf, To his credit, he hasn't lost the locker room. They've played hard against the Packers, against the Vikings, against the Bears. They could have packed it in today when they were down 16-0 at the end of the first half. They fought to come back, but when you start doing stuff like this and doubling down on it, that's how you lose players. That's how you lose a locker room.
You know, after further thought, as a fellow stupid person, I kind of respect it, I think. You know, like, it takes a lot of arrogance to go, hey, I'm stupid and I stand by it. You know, like, I kind of respect that,
I'm not stupid.
actually.
You guys are stupid for thinking I'm stupid.
Exactly. You know what? I kind of respect it from Matt Eberflus, the soon-to-be former Chicago Bears head coach, I imagine, in the coming 5 weeks. All right, so now speaking of things I don't understand and being a stupid individual, Gabe, you smoked a turkey today, is my understanding.
That is correct.
Talking about it on Greedy, and you mentioned it earlier. For those that don't know, Ashton Rotman, our producer today, he owns the infamous, now retired, is my understanding, food truck called Rot's Hot. So a very good chef. Now retired. Is that the correct way to phrase it, Ashy?
I mean, I'm retired in terms of Rot's Hots. Yes, I am only getting better in terms of cooking.
All right, good for you. Proud of you, dude. So I am a Green Bay native. I grew up here, went to high school in the area. So for a long time, I have been in the Brown County / Green Bay Scanner Facebook group. Okay, you follow me? So right as during this commercial break, I sat down and I was just scrolling through Facebook as one does, and I see an alert. I'm not going to say the street it was, but let's just put it this way for those familiar. It is the street I am currently on, okay? It says 11/28/24 street I am currently on. Party was frying a turkey, and it started on fire 10 feet from the house with 3-foot flames. So, number one, their Thanksgiving dinner is ruined. And number two, I walked into the house today saying, oh, man, it really smells like smoke on this street today. Now, I imagine there's a bonfire happening somewhere, so I didn't really overthink it. Turkey smelled like burnt wood down here. So I smell of a fried turkey gone wrong, which I don't know is the sexiest scent of all time.
Well, so I've heard people who have had like a deep fried turkey say it's fantastic. Like the flavor
it's the way
is
to do it. That's what I've heard.
It's very moist. I've personally never had it. And if I'm ever going to have it, somebody else is going to have to do it. Because I'll tell you this, I have heard way too many stories of, again, not of people I know, but either through police scanners, on social media, you see it happening. And like the warnings are out there. If you are deep frying a turkey, be careful. Like, you have to be careful because this is one of the things that can happen if you do it incorrectly. It can just go up in flames if you're too close to the house. Obviously, that's dangerous. So I want nothing to do with myself deep frying a turkey. It seems way too dangerous.
Ashley, you're the local chef. Gabe's more of a smoker. You're more of a chef. Frying a turkey, how does it go this wrong?
Condensation / water and hot oil. It's science. That's how it goes wrong. Honestly, that's it. It's that simple. If you're not paying any attention, if you're not being safe, if you're just like, oh, I'm going to dunk this turkey in this hot oil, that's what happens. It's honestly pretty simple to me, and I don't know why anyone would try it. I really don't.
Other than like a professional like yourself?
I would never do it. Absolutely not. No. Honestly, the only way to do it is the way that Gabe did it. That's the only way to cook a turkey in my mind from here on out.
Well, you can bake it. I mean, what's wrong with baking a turkey?
That's child's play.
Okay, you're taking shots at my mom now.
I'm taking shots at my mother and every other mother and anyone else out there that doesn't have the skill. It's fine.
I understand you're crabby because of Matt Eberflus. I understand you're crabby because the Chicago Bears once again shot themselves in the foot. But you don't need to be taking it out on everybody that enjoyed a baked turkey today on Thanksgiving.
Yes, I do. It's ridiculous that this keeps happening, and yet no one's going to do anything about it. And I'm going to be sad, and that's fine.
Man, so I'm actually going to be bringing Ashton a plate of food. I wish I'd have had time to do it before the show. Like, I think that would have alleviated the crabbiness.
Wait, so when you say you're bringing Ashton a plate of food, do you mean tomorrow morning on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy? When is this happening?
No, because he's going to be there. He's got Green Bay game night as well with Homer and Tausch and Gary Ellerson. So he's going to be at the station, and he didn't really celebrate a Thanksgiving, so I've got some leftover. I'm going to run him a plate of food after we're done with the show here.
Ashton, did you know this already, or is this a surprise?
No, I knew. And actually, it's funny. in a previous life, when Gabe and I were doing things on Thanksgiving that revolved around the green and gold, I believe he did the same thing for me once as well, which was super nice. Gabe rules.
You're a good guy, Gabe.
I don't know if anyone knew that.
Good guy.
Gabe, awesome. He rules.
I mean, it just seemed
Let's
like the
talk
right
about
thing to
Gabe.
do.
It makes him uncomfortable.
No, it's just
it makes you uncomfortable. Let's talk. Okay, well, speaking of taking shots at mom, your mom raised you correctly, so no shot taken there. I will leave the taking shots at mothers to Ashton. I will say, wow, she raised you very well. All right, coming up next on Green Bay Game Day, we will delay our Jordan Love conversation because coming up next, bold, bald, beautiful. Our buddy Rob Demovsky, who covers the Packers for ESPN, joins us from inside of Lambeau Field. Didn't want to take the walk over to me on Thanksgiving like Jason Wilde's going to do in about a half an hour. But Rob Demovsky will join us coming up next, breaking down all things green and gold. It's Packers-Dolphins tonight, a 7:20 kickoff on NBC. Your nightcap here on Thanksgiving. Alex Strouf, Gabe Neitzel with you right here on Green Bay Game Day.
We're back with Green Bay Game Day after this on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
At Cousin Subs, the bigger your smile, the better we feel. That's why our menu features something for everyone, like our Wisconsin cheese curds, golden fries, creamy shakes, and mac and cheese, all paired with your favorite sub or our subs in a bowl. And don't forget our kids' meals, now with a free cookie. Here's to a better day. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
The daily grind can leave your car looking like it's been through overtime. But at Tsunami Express Car Wash, they'll help you tackle the dirt and grime. Step onto the field with their Tsunami Clean Tech Tunnel. It treats, cleans, protects, and dries your car, delivering an MVP shine every time. And with their 7th site now open in Midtown Milwaukee, Tsunami Express is making it even easier to score big across Wisconsin. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat. Get your first wash free when you sign up online at tsunamiexpress.com.
Gift giving is easy with an Island Resort and Casino gift card. Every person on your list can spend their time just the way they like it. Dining, going to a concert, relaxing at the Drift Spa, playing golf. No matter the reason, gift cards to the Midwest's premier resort destination are a sure bet. To order gift cards, stop by the Island Club today or call 877-ISL-SHOW. Then spread some joy because everyone knows your total experience is at the Island.
If you want to win at tailgating, you need to Boatify your beverage choice. Boaty Wine is the ultimate addition to your tailgate party. This premium wine comes in an eco-friendly box, fitting perfectly in your cooler or trunk. And there's no heavy glass or corkscrew to deal with. One 3-liter Boaty box is the equivalent of 4 bottles of wine, so it's great for sharing. Bring the wine that wins with wine critics, where there's quality in every sip. Boaty Box. Be open to anything. Please drink responsibly. Must be 21 or older. Boaty Box Vineyards, Manteca, California.
Hey, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta. Whether I'm headed to a big college football game or just need a reliable ride, I trust AccuTrans Group. They're a veteran-owned business that delivers top-notch transportation, perfect for game day or any event. From tailgates to team outings to corporate travel and weddings, AccuTrans has you covered. Booking is a breeze, and their service is always safe and dependable. Visit AccuTransGroup.com to book your ride today. That's AccuTransGroup.com, your go-to for reliable transportation this football season.
This time of year can be really tough on a number of areas in your home. If you're struggling with any electrical issues, the superheroes at Current Electric are ready to help you. Chuck Smith is a Brookfield Central grad who started Current Electric over 40 years ago. His mission was to serve our community with integrity and quality. Whether it's as small as a switch repair or as large as rewiring your entire home to a generator to keep your lights on or even interest in solar energy, call on the superheroes from Current Electric. Go to callcurrent.com. That's callcurrent.com.
There's a good chance you're on a budget. We all are. But she wants a diamond. You know it, I know it. And Robert Hack Diamonds knows it too, because they offer a huge collection of lab-grown diamonds and they sell them at crazy prices. How about 2-carat total weight diamond studs for free when you mention ESPN and purchase at $2,000 of in-stock jewelry? You'll receive a free pair of 2-carat total weight diamond studs. Robert Hack Diamonds can get any size, shape, or clarity in natural or lab-grown diamonds. Don't buy until you call Robert Hack Diamonds in Greenfield or in Brookfield. Why overspend when you can save at Robert Hack Diamonds for the same diamond you're looking for? Spend at least $2,000 on in-stock jewelry and you get 2-carat diamond studs free. As long as you mention ESPN, your visit will be worth it, and she'll think so too. Robert Hack also offers repair services and cash for your old gold. Robert Hack Diamonds, roberthackdiamonds.com, roberthackdiamonds.com. Visit them in Brookfield or in Greenfield.
You're listening to Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, previewing Packers Dolphins, your nightcap on this Thanksgiving evening. Alex Strouf, Gabe Neitzel hanging out with you. Excited to be joined now by ESPN NFL Nation reporter Rob Demovsky, bold, bald, and beautiful, joining us now from inside of Lambeau Field. Hi, Rob. Happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you, Alex. It's really nice and toasty in here right now, so all is well for me.
Yeah, this is the first home game I've actually been able to do the show from inside, so I'm nice and toasty, too. I'm not complaining about the elements for once, which I know you're not used to because every other home game I'm complaining about how cold my feetsies are and how toasty your bald head is. Yeah, I get it. Let's start with the injury report. Edrin Cooper, Jair Alexander, both going to miss this game again this week here, Rob. And obviously the Dolphins offense, regardless of the record, very potent here, winning 3 in a row. How do you think those two specifically, Cooper and Alexander's absences, will impact this Packers defense?
Well, for one, Alex, they can both run, and Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley said this week that this is the fastest offense that he's seen on film. So you would theoretically want your fastest or some of your faster guys. Cooper certainly fitting into that, maybe not Jair as much, but that's a problem. The other thing that Hafley pointed out, and rightly so, is that they run a ton of screens and misdirections and things that go quickly. They don't necessarily throw deep as much as some teams, but once they get the ball in their hands of their playmakers, they want to get it. They want to get that ball in there quickly and try to let those guys go make plays. So I think those two, not having those two guys hurts. This is, we'll see probably, Carrington Valentine in the similar role that we saw last week. We might actually see Tyron Hopper get a little bit more work this week. He practiced, well, he didn't really practice, but from what they did in walkthroughs, it sounded like he was maybe on course to get some more reps at linebacker this week. So we'll see what he can do.
What do you think their plan, Rob, is to kind of mitigate some of the stuff that they do? Like you said, they try to get the ball out of Tua's hands, and the Packers have struggled. I mean, we saw it against the Bears a couple of weeks ago when Caleb Williams was able to get the ball out of his hand quickly. Right. They were having success through the air. Yeah, I mean, in theory, Gabe, it's where Jeff Hafley's defensive, quote, vision to the football should help them, right? You're not, your back's not to the football as much as it would be in a different scheme. So, in theory, you should be able to see what's coming and be able to keep it in front of you. Now, that's easier said than done, right? Yeah, yeah, especially when it's Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle who have the football.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, those guys, we don't get to see those guys, play as much. At least, I don't because, typically I'm at a game and not watching it on TV. But when I watch some clips this week, it's impressive what those guys can do.
Super impressive. Rob Demovsky with us here on Green Bay Game Day, ESPN Wisconsin 620 WTMJ. Alex Strouf, Gabe Neitzel hanging out with you. Sticking with the defense, Rob. Seems like Quay Walker played one of his better games last week against San Francisco, despite dropping a pretty easy interception.
Even without the interception that he no doubt should have had.
But what'd you make of his bounce back? Because Chicago was a rough one for him. And last week seemed like a nice rebound for him as he still tries to find his way here in year 3.
Yeah, I think it was a good sign that we saw him make a play or 2 or 3. You saw Kenny Clark finally do something. Van Ness, same thing. Rashawn Gary. You had some guys that maybe hadn't been living up to it, make some plays, specifically with Quay Walker. Jeff Hafley said that he thought he tackled really well and was playing downhill, and that led to a couple of those TFLs. And those are things that maybe he wasn't doing as well as he had in weeks past. And look, Jeff Hafley, this is about as much as he's going to rip a player. He said, look, I thought Quay played his best game, which I was proud of him because the week before I think he would tell you he didn't play his best game. So that's Jeff Hafley putting the onus on Quay to admit that he didn't play his best game, and Hafley's not much to criticize players, but that's about as far as he could go. So the fact that he was able to turn it around, I think was a good sign. Now let's see where it goes moving forward, or if that was just a one-off game.
Well, you mentioned Hafley singing the praises of players. He did that for Rashawn Gary to you guys this week. Are you buying what he is selling, saying that Rashawn Gary is coming on and he's more comfortable with the scheme, or are they just trying to buy more time for Rashawn Gary and make excuses for him the way they have all season?
Yeah, that one I'm not. Yeah, I'm right. I'm tend to lead more in the latter on that, Gabe. And he did. The quote from Hafley, I think he's getting more comfortable. He's playing faster within the scheme. But I don't know that the results are quite there yet, and quite frankly, I don't know if they are going to be. And look, there's two positions on the defensive side of the ball that I know we've got a lot of football left to see, over the next month or two or however long the season goes. But don't you sort of think that based on what we've seen, that they almost have to think about pass rusher and cornerback this offseason, whether it's high in the draft or free agency? Because I'm just not so sure how long you can sit there and just say, well, Rashawn Gary was a good player, he's going to be a good player again. We just haven't quite seen enough of it to say that yet.
Hold on, I have a question for Gabe Neitzel rather than Rob Demovsky.
Okay,
Gabe, do you have any feelings towards Rashawn Gary you want to get off your chest real quick?
Tell me, did I say anything factually incorrect? That's open to the panel. Rob or Alex, did I say anything factually incorrect in the question I asked Rob? I feel I was factually. Everything I said was based in fact.
Nothing factually incorrect.
But
the sentence, the sentence, make excuses for him like they've done all season, seemed like there was some bitterness there. So I just wanted to see if you had.
They have. They've made excuses for him all year.
No,
that's true.
Yeah, that is true.
Nothing factually incorrect, just some feelings there from Gabe Neitzel. All right, Rob, let's go to the offensive side of the ball. Hey, Jordan Love didn't throw an interception last week, Rob. That's the first time he's done that in a game he's played this season. It seems go ahead.
Alex, there were at least two, maybe three that could have easily been picked. The one off of Dobbs' hands, one that Christian Watson broke up, really did a nice job, and I feel like there was one more that I remember rewatching. I can't think of it right now, but I mean, if one of those are picked, the narrative here is a lot different. So let's be careful before we say that the interception problem is completely resolved.
Sure, I'm not by any means making that case, but I was going to say it seems like since the bye week, right, since he's kind of had the opportunity to get his body back to at least close to full health, he seemed more like Jordan Love than the Jordan Love we saw a majority of the season.
Yeah, and I think for whatever reason, maybe he's a guy who starts seasons a little shakier. Now, last year, obviously, it was his first one, and threw a bunch of interceptions and missed a lot of receivers early in the season. We all know how he finished. And look, he wasn't at his best, this part of the early part of this season, obviously had two different injuries to deal with. But maybe this is a guy who, just plays his best football late in the year. I mean, we don't have enough evidence to judge that on, but I thought last week was a pretty good start. However, it wasn't a game where they were airing it out. What have they in the last two games? They've combined to throw it 40 times, I think, 17 in one, 23 in the other. I don't think that's and maybe that's good. Maybe they're trying to let Jordan feel like he doesn't have to make the hero play all the time because they've got this great running game. So it's not a bad spot to be in, but it's definitely that. They definitely have to be mindful of the decisions that he's making. And, if he does miss a throw, where does it end up?
How much of Josh Jacobs do you think we see tonight? 22 touches, then 26 touches the last 2 weeks, and now it's a short week. And Chewy always says on our show, running backs always get beat up the most. And he talks about, remember seeing Dorsey Levens and how long it would take Dorsey after a game like that to even be walking normal in the facility. Can we see another? Is it plausible that Josh Jacobs gets 25-plus touches again tonight? Or do we see more of Emmanuel Wilson?
Yeah, I'd be surprised. They really talked up both Emmanuel Wilson and Chris Brooks this week, which makes me think that, that they know they can't do that on such short notice with Jacobs. I mean, if you go back and watch Gabe, those 2 runs that Emmanuel Wilson had on that field goal drive, I think it was the second drive of the game, he had 2 really nice runs, one for 9, and I think the other was for 19. And like, we've seen him do that in very small doses before. Last year he did it before he got injured, had the shoulder injury last year. It might be interesting to see if they gave him a series or 2, just to see, if he can do it. Now, if he can't and you've got to use Josh Jacobs to win the game, then by all means you better use him.
Mm-hmm. No doubt about that. Who needs to step up most offensively, Rob, for the Packers to win this game?
Well, I mean, without Romeo Doubs, they need somebody to be the third down guy, right? I mean, last week before Doubs had the concussion, he had 3 catches for 54 yards, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe they were all third down conversions for first down. So it's someone that's got to be the third down guy, whether that's Tucker Kraft or maybe Jaden Reed. We haven't seen the ball in Jaden Reed's hand as much lately. I wouldn't be surprised if this is maybe more of a Jaden Reed type of game.
I will never complain about Jaden Reed having the ball in his hands. I mean, that's certainly something I'll never scoff at because he's that darn talented. All right, Rob, as we always do before we let you go, prediction time. How do you see this one playing out on Thanksgiving evening?
The last couple of weeks, Alex, I felt like the Packers were going to win and win comfortably. No, they did last week. Chicago was much more stressful. I don't see this one being easy. I really, really don't. Look, Miami's desperate, right? They need this bad. The AFC is what it is, and they've got to keep pace. I would fully expect Miami to throw everything they have at the Packers today, and I think the Packers come out of it with a win and makes the game in Detroit a week from today huge. I mean, it's huge either way, but the Packers have to keep pace, and my hunch is that they will. I just don't think it's going to be easy.
Rob Demovsky, ESPN NFL Nation reporter with us here on Green Bay Game Day. Rob, appreciate the time. We'll talk to you in when's the next game? A week from today? We'll talk to you, Rob.
That is right.
Fantastic. Thanks, Rob.
Take care.
Gabe Neitzel, Alex Strouf hanging out with you on Green Bay Game Day, previewing Packers Dolphins, the nightcap here on Thanksgiving. Gabe, what's the ideal time for your favorite team to play on Thanksgiving? Is it the last one of the night?
I think so. So the Packers played the early game last year. Yeah, I think the night game, because you can kind of get everything else out of the way, right? Like, to me, if you're like you and I and have Thanksgiving dinner earlier with your family, that still works. Even if you're somebody who eats around 4 or 5 o'clock, there's still plenty of time before that Packers game kicks off. So I think I like the night game. I think I like the night game on Thanksgiving versus the other two.
Yeah, especially if they lose, then it doesn't ruin my entire day. It only ruins the late night part. So that's why I like the night slate. But like last year was great because it started the day great. Got the pregame shot of the way. Old fashions are flowing by 11:30 a.m. and you're celebrating a big Packers victory all day long. So I think there's benefits to all of them. Super Bowl champion Jared Bush joins us coming up next. It's Green Bay Game Day on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Stay right here. Green Bay Game Day will be right back on
Jared,
ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Green and gold fans, it's game day. And you know what that means. Tailgating with friends and raising a glass to our favorite team. This season, make Bacardi the star of your pregame party. Whether you're mixing up a classic Bacardi and Cola, refreshing Bacardi Lime and Soda, or a smooth spiced and Cola, Bacardi is the perfect pick for game day fun. Grab a bottle and get ready to cheer on Green Bay with the best in hand. Available now at your local retailer. Live passionately, drink responsibly. Bacardi USA, Miami, Florida. Rum 40% alcohol by volume.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as 1 business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It's time for the Ortho ASAP Minute from Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
Dr. Daniel Hollab is with me. OAW offers a robotic partial knee replacement. What is that and who would be a candidate?
We see a lot of the weekend warrior
maybe people that have played sports their whole life or had a knee injury somewhere along the line that now has led to a very isolated patch of arthritis in a portion of their knee, which traditionally may have been treated with a full knee replacement. Nowadays, we have very accurate computer-assisted robotic technology that allows us to target that small patch of arthritis and do a very limited replacement. This procedure tends to be minimally invasive. It's an outpatient procedure. It tends to need a little bit less of a recovery period, and it leaves you with most of your own knee. Just we've replaced the arthritic portions of your knee. You're able to lead a more active lifestyle after this type of a procedure.
The Ortho ASAP Minute is sponsored by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference.
Brighten up your home, workplace, or event with flowers and trust Welke's Milwaukee Florist to be your local florist. Welke's is family-owned and has delivered beauty for customers and businesses for well over 100 years. Join Welke's Flower subscription so your home is always fresh, or discover the benefits of creating a corporate account and leave the work to them. Welke's Milwaukee Florist has locations in Elm Grove and at 56th and North in Milwaukee. Go to Welke's.com, that's WELKES.com for more info and to place an order.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
It's football season, and Uber Eats is dropping undefeated deals on all your game day favorites. This week, score buy one, get one free famous bowls from KFC, only on Uber Eats. Craving even more? We've got you covered with game day deals on pizza, burgers, tacos, and more all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms, taxes, and fees apply. See app for details.
With the holidays around the corner, why not check the Badger fan in your life off the list early? Take advantage of Black Friday deals on Badger tickets and give the gift of an unforgettable experience with discounts on Badger men's and women's basketball, hockey, and wrestling tickets, and a winter full of exciting home matchups. There's something for every Badger fan. Visit uwbadgers.com or call 1-800-GO-BADGERS to explore all the Badger Black Friday deals and to secure your seats. uwbadgers.com or 1-800-GO-BADGERS.
This is Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Fun. Fresh from Monaco, performing for Microsoft, Miami to LA, G4, we taking off.
Green Bay Game Day presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. All the stars are coming out. Jared Bush will join us momentarily. Jason Wilde will join us at some point here at the Tundra Tree. He just walked in. He's eating his popcorn. I forgot to get Jason a plate at my family Thanksgiving, Gabe, so I think he's shaming me. He just hasn't addressed that head on yet.
Yeah, this is why Ashton knows he can rely on me. I'm going to be able to bring him a plate of food that we had for our Thanksgiving earlier today. Yeah, you dropped the ball here. You should have been hooking up your guy, Jason Wilde, nice little plate of turkey and whatever, all the great sides I'm sure you guys had at your Thanksgiving. And now Jason's got to settle for popcorn? What are we doing here, Strouf? Come on, man.
Yeah, Packers crunch here at the Tundra Trio. So, I mean, it could be worse for him, I think. Jason, are you mad at me?
Not at all. Skinny Pop, I went with.
Skinny Pop. Got it.
Packers crunch is available, though. No, I'm not mad. Why would I be mad at you?
Because we talked about green bean casserole and potentially doing a little.
I don't even like green bean casserole.
You don't? Gabe.
Gross.
Gabe, do you?
I mean, did we have green bean casserole today? We most certainly did not.
Okay, I did, and it was okay. Right, green bean casserole is never the best thing on the table, but I feel like it's a good once or twice a year dish. No?
I mean, the best part is the little crunchy onion things.
Yes.
So just eat those out
but
of the
I like
canister.
Green beans too.
Hey, Jared, are you there?
There's like that creamy whatever that is. Is that mayo based?
No, I think it's cream of mushroom soup or something. Ashton, you're the cook here. What do you know?
He knows nothing.
Okay, he's busy. He knows nothing about Green Bean Castle. Okay, apparently I'm alone on this one. All right, let's go back to Jordan Love, Gabe, because I am curious on both yours and Jason's thoughts here on the extended Jason Wilde hour here on Green Bay Game Day. And look who showed up. Super Bowl champion Jarrett Bush has arrived.
He plays for the Bucs now.
Yeah, he looks like
representing the Bucs. I love it.
So let's dive into Jordan Love. We're good, JB. Good to see you. Happy Thanksgiving. First game he played last week without throwing an interception. Gabe, I'll start with you. Do we think that is more of what's to come for Jordan Love, or is that a one-off?
I mean, it kind of feels like a one-off to me because the ball was still in harm's way, and Rob, kind of listed off those potential interceptions he could have thrown, and I don't include the one that he threw, and I put through in air quotes in the end zone because he knew it was a free play. So he was just, hey, it doesn't matter what happens here. Maybe we, defender ends up tipping it up in the air. We end up catching it. So that's not even a calculated risk. That's just, you're playing with house money, so you're trying to make something happen. But there were a couple of opportunities for the 49ers to make some plays, and those are things that still need to get cleaned up for Jordan Love because better teams that are playing better, are not going to drop those passes. And in a different game, not one you eventually win 38-10, in a different tight game, those are the mistakes that ultimately end up costing you.
Jason?
I'm not even really on the show based on that video.
Well, the good news is we are also a radio program. Ashton's working on it.
I'm trying my best here, guys. What are we doing here? I'm trying.
It's okay. I'm not even supposed to be here yet. I don't even work here, as Kramer once said.
That's what makes this so difficult.
It does, indeed. Good luck. Say hi to Keith for me. So, look, I do think that Gabe is right. I do think, though, the last two games, we have seen him be a far better decision maker and less risky than he had been previously, right? And I keep going back to this, but the play he makes on the throw to Christian Watson where he stands in and takes the hit and completes the pass, and then obviously Christian Watson gets up and keeps running, that to me was the moment where I said, okay, he is back to being confident in his health and his ability to play the position the way he likes to play it. But he is still taking some risks. And I'm starting to wonder, Gabe, if this is who he is. And last year, as a first-year starter, he was, as I used with him, was painting by numbers. What's paint by numbers, he said. But now he's painting his own kind of masterpiece, and sometimes that means that you've got to turn a little mistake into a happy little cloud or a happy little tree. But I think he's making better decisions. There are still one or two a game where you can question it. I'm eager to see how many of those types of decisions he makes tonight.
Yeah, thank you, Bob Ross. I also think that
love Bob Ross.
Yeah, I mean he's fantastic. But I think the Packers have recognized this, Jason, and they've leaned more on Josh Jacobs, right? I don't think it's a mistake that he threw the ball only 17 times, despite running 43 plays against the Bears. And then they turn around and he only throws it 23 times last week because Josh Jacobs, for the first time since Amon Green was here, the Packers have a feature back they can turn around and hand it off to, and they feel comfortable about it 20 times a game, and he's going to be incredibly effective. And I think that, to your point, like he doesn't have to make all the Superman throws, and taking that pressure off of him is huge because there's still going to be a lot of opportunities to make big plays, like the Christian Watson play that was that close to being made, and Jordan did nothing wrong there last week. So there's still plenty of opportunities to make big plays, even if you rein in the opportunities and keep his attempts in that mid-20s range.
Yeah, it just unlocks so much for this Packers offense. Let's go to the Super Bowl champ. JB, how do you evaluate Jordan Love the last couple of weeks? Oh, not hearing JB all of a sudden. Well, there we go. Now we got you. Go ahead.
I think if let me start over. But Gabe, I think you touched on it. If Christian Watson makes that catch, what does that change? What confidence does that build? What momentum does that build in Jordan Love, as well as the chemistry with Christian Watson? Who knows? We'll never know, but it didn't happen. But as they continue to play the season and they do connect on that type of play, what type of confidence does that instill in the player as like Jordan Love or Christian Watson? They continue to maybe hopefully have one day maybe like a Brett Favre, Donald Driver connection, or Aaron Rodgers and Greg Jennings connection, or Jordy Nelson. You know what I'm saying? So it was a huge epic fail in that catch. But I think there is tomorrow. There is tonight. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking forward to hopefully they pick up where they left off, they continue that chemistry, and they continue to build. Jordan Love, I definitely feel like they need to reel him in a little bit. I think he was a little careless with the ball, frankly. I definitely feel that you have to take care of that football and not lose the game. In other ordinances or most cases that he's won the game. Josh Jacobs, I want to see him sustainability and especially his health because he's getting so many carries. He is a young guy. I think he can carry the load. At the same time, I would like Emmanuel Wilson. I know somebody's going to correct me because I keep botching his name, but at the same time...
No, you said it right that time. You used to call him Eugene. Now you got it right.
Well, don't bring up Eugene now. He got it right. Now he's going to think Eugene again.
I want JB in his head all the rest of the show. Eugene or Emmanuel?
Man,
Which one is it?
He nailed it, and he's in his own head. He nailed it that time.
I would like that 1-2 punch to continue to be effective. I like that 8, 9, 10 with Dan Patrick, as well as adding Emmanuel Wilson into the play and continue the production in the red zone today. I know the Miami defense is a little bit more defensive in the red zone. I'm looking forward to see those two forces clash as the Packers have been struggling in the red zone. But now, last week I thought they had a high success. Miami Dolphins have a high production in defense as well as stopping in the red zone. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that result plays out to see tonight here on Thanksgiving evening. So see who gets that turkey leg. I'm excited. I'm pumped up.
Well, hopefully Jordan Love, if the Packers do win, does get his turkey leg this year because he got screwed last year, frankly, Jason Wilde.
He didn't get his turkey leg. That screwed seems strong.
Does
NBC
accurate. Do any sort of turkey at the end? I guess I've never really decided to stay up to see the post game of the night game to see who's getting the turkey legs on the NBC game. I don't know if they actually do that. I don't know if that's a Fox and CBS thing.
I have no idea, but the good news is we will all find out together. Packers-Dolphins, 7:20 kickoff on the aforementioned NBC. We will officially kick off the Jason Wilde Hour, which started a few minutes early, coming up next. But first, this holiday season, the Salvation Army needs your help. Every dollar donated helps to provide meals, shelter, and emergency support to local families in crisis, not just at Christmas, but all year long. Join us in making a difference. Visit SalvationArmyWI.org to donate today. Alex Strouf, Gabe Neitzel, Jason Wilde, Super Bowl champion Jarrett Bush. Roll on with you right after this. It's the second hour of Green Bay Game Day, presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
More Green Bay Game Day coming up on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
My overall experience with Gruber Law Offices has been phenomenal.
The treatment was excellent.
They will be supportive of you. They will listen to you.
It was a great experience knowing that I had people to help me.
I know I could count on them to do what I needed to get done.
Experience with Gruber was great.
They gave me my life back.
It was amazing.
He gets results.
We know how to win. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Gruber Law Offices had my best interests at heart.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right. And naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys. Beyond the bottle, Tito's has gained a reputation for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits around the world to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's and learn more at Tito'sVodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
It's the holiday season, my favorite time of year. Festive decorations, family gatherings, using our gift boxes. Honestly, I'm happier to see a Using Our Gift Box at my door than Santa. The Using Our Gift Box doesn't require cooking, just eating. And who's not up for that during the holidays? Make someone's day by sending them the tastiest gift in town. A box filled with Using Our's delicious sausage, cheese, and assorted goodies. Order yours today. It's easy. Just go to usingar.com and click on gifts.
ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta here. 'Tis the season for celebrating at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. Join them this holiday season for special events to get you in the festive mood. From a spectacular brunch with Santa to the holiday marketplace and one-of-a-kind dinner and a show experiences, St. Kate has a celebration happening nearly every week through the holiday season. Make a night of it and extend the experience by booking an overnight stay at St. Kate. Special packages are now available. Celebrate the holidays with St. Kate. Learn more by visiting stkatearts.com/holidays.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
This is Kevin Van Rossum, president of Three Tree Marketing. Send gifts to appreciate anyone, anywhere, anytime with a gift of your choice by using our gifting solutions technology. Our team handles it all, from concepting, site creation, as well as production of branded products. Elevate your brand's connection to its consumers by creating the ultimate gifting experience with us. Make the art of gifting effortless for yourself. At Three Tree Marketing, we chase partners, not orders. Visit threetreemarketing.com to see what we can do for you.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after, an in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 provides game recaps for every game. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis.
Puts it on the floor, spins down the lane, and plunges it through.
Or the deep threes from Dame.
Dame time has arrived with 107.
Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Finding the special healthcare resources families need just got easier. Wisconsin Wayfinder Children's Resource Network helps kids with delays, disabilities, special healthcare needs, and mental health conditions. Call toll-free 877-947-2929. Ask questions. Get answers. Connect today toll-free 877-947-2929. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune in to Kyle Bruston Nortman from 2 to 5 every day. WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Party people!
It's time to get this tailgate started and get you ready for the green and gold game. This is Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Broadcasting live from the shadow of the South End Zone at Lambeau Field. Alongside Gabe Neitzel, here's Alex Strouf.
Green Bay Game Day presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. The Jason Wilde Hour of Green Bay Game Day. Alex Strouf, Gabe Neitzel, Super Bowl champion Jarrett Bush hanging out with you alongside the three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, the co-host of Wilde and Tausch, Jason Wilde, who just got done giving me a very stern fatherly lecture in the commercial break.
First of all, not fatherly, older brotherly or uncle.
It was fatherly. I don't care what you say. It was fatherly.
Secondly, I'm just saying, for someone who is a proud alumnus of the University of Wisconsin, Stevens Point, your setup, JB's doing a better job of setting up his video than you are of setting up our video. And JB's a former NFL player who is, I don't know if he's at Blow Dry Bar or if he's at home, but wherever he is, he's done a better job than you have. That's all. And if we were just on the radio, fine.
JB says thank you.
You're welcome, JB.
Gabe, that was a fatherly lecture, right?
No, that was a teammate asking you to be better.
Thank you, Gabe. Say hi to Keith for me.
Oh, most certainly
That's
will.
the second time you said that.
Yeah.
So you guys want to hear something funny? Again, from Courtney Cronin, who just tweeted this out moments ago. Since turnovers were first tracked in 1933, the Bears are the first team to go on a 6-game losing streak without committing multiple turnovers in any of those games.
So they're bad without turning the ball over.
Why are you doing this to me, Gabe?
That's kind of impressive.
Look, I mean, I think you should complain to Courtney. I mean, she's the one who's putting out the information. I just keep, relaying it to you and all of our fine fans listening out there this Thanksgiving.
Don't you have to fire Matt Eberflus after the end of that game?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, I think you do.
All right. I'm done.
Is he going to get fired? No. He'll have the rest of the season.
I don't know. I just don't understand how you...
Well, so I want to... So, JB, like, from a player's perspective, and I understand, like, when you were in Green Bay, you had Mike, and Mike, did a good enough job where he's got a street named after him now in Green Bay. But, like, if a game ends like that, and you've got a timeout in your pocket, and the clock runs out as you're trying to get a game-winning field goal. Like, to me, that's how you lose a locker room. Is that where, because players are smart enough, right, JB? Like, you know in that situation what you're supposed to be doing. The coaching staff doesn't put you in that position to succeed. Like, to me, that's how you lose a locker room. But I want to hear your perspective on it.
You know, just the whole situation, and I just got one word, is urgency. At the point that, and maybe some pre-planning as well, because at the point that you know that the clock is running down, you know you get a timeout. What type of thoughts are you running through your mind, and then what type of simulation have you prepared your team to execute that within the game and the pressure, as well as some of the external factors of the crowd and whatnot? They should be able to handle that. Being a professional football player, you sign a contract. You're an NFL football player. I think you should act like it. I think, as well as the NFL coach, I think you should be well prepared. You have amazing facilities to be able to execute that. Either watching on film, watch examples of how it looks and how it's supposed to look, how it's not supposed to look, and give those examples. I don't know. I'm flabbergasted. I am appalled that they can't execute something like that. And I think coaching high school football and having a freshman football team to get them to be able to do that. If I can get a freshman football team to do that, they can do it. So,
JB for the next Bears head coach. JB, next Bears head coach.
Oh, man.
Yeah, they got to figure it out. I mean, luckily it's not the Packers, trying to figure that out. So I think we're grateful for that, right, on this Thanksgiving Day.
JB, if you were hypothetically to be offered the head coaching job in Chicago, would you take it?
What a wonderful opportunity. What an honor. Man, I think I have some Packer fans down my back pocket. And down my back.
That doesn't sound like a no. That's all I'm hearing.
$4 million a year to be fired in 3 years, I think you totally take it. And you could come back. We'd welcome you back with open arms. Because it wouldn't be your fault that you'd fail. That's just a dysfunctional organization.
It certainly is.
So then, you'd say, hey, I had to take the opportunity, and I did a great job, but unfortunately the GM or the ownership group, you'd be fine. We'd be happy to have you back in 2027.
I am thankful on this Thanksgiving that I was born and raised in Green Bay, Wisconsin as a Packers fan, because I have never seen dysfunction at the level in which the Chicago Bears constantly operate in pure dysfunction. So that's what I'm thankful for today. Alex Strouf, Jared Bush, Gabe Neitzel, Jason Wilde hanging out with you here on Green Bay Game Day. Jason, I asked Rob this question, but I'm curious from your perspective, because this Dolphins offense, as we've been discussing over the course of the last hour, very high-powered, very potent, has some terrific and speedy weapons offensively. Packers are without their top corner in Jair Alexander again this week. Also without their rookie stud linebacker, Edgerrin Cooper, again this week. How do you think those two inactives impact the Packers' defense against a high-powered offense?
Yeah, I mean, they're both guys that play with a lot of speed, so they're obviously guys that you would like to have on the field. But, look, as much as you'd like to say, oh, well, they're going to miss this guy or that guy, I think the biggest advantage is that Tua struggles in the cold weather. And as we saw last week, I think they even showed, correct me if I'm wrong, because you watched the game on television, that they showed the two different cleats that the 49ers needed to switch to because they're unaccustomed, apparently, to the slippery surface. That's what slows fast teams down. And, Tausch always talks about the 7 studs versus the molded cleats, right? And the molded cleats are the ones that all the fast guys like JB like to wear because they're light and they don't dig into the turf as deeply, so they're able to run faster. But that's how you also slip and fall. And I will be interested to see if the Dolphins take a page out of the second half playbook for the 49ers and go to those cleats immediately, knowing that this is a slippery surface. I mean, Gabe, I remember us talking about this after the Brazil game in the opener. Like, the Brazil game looked to me, everybody was talking about how slippery it was, but it really looked like a game here down the stretch of the season. It gets slippery here. And that is a problem at Lambeau Field. We see it with both teams, both the home team and whoever the visitor is. So, to me, that is the greater question about their speed, is whether or not Tua can get them to the ball in stride and on time, if the Packers can disrupt that. Look, they're used to playing without Jair Alexander. This is nothing new. And while we like some of the aspects of Edgerrin Cooper's game, it's not like they're missing, a top-flight linebacker at this point in his career. Now, will he develop into that? Possibly. But we're going to get a look at Tyron Hopper. We got a little bit of a look at him last week. We'll see what he's capable of doing. I am a big Eric Wilson believer.
Body beautiful.
I know that he, is a veteran player, and we don't really need many of those around here anymore. But he's the kind of guy that if you have to have someone step in and play more snaps than they had been because the other guy was more dynamic, he's the guy I want on the field. The sneaky thing here is, let's not forget, Isaiah McDuffie is questionable too, and he was projected as not having practiced until Wednesday when he was given a limited
designation
listing or whatever he was. Yeah, I mean it's hard because they're not practicing, right?
Yeah.
And so maybe he's able to go tonight, but again, they're thin at the linebacker spot if both he and Cooper aren't playing.
Going to need a Quay Walker performance much more like last week than 2 weeks ago. Go ahead, Gabe.
Well, no, I was just going to say, and as far as the slick surface, I mean, they've played so many noon games at Lambeau Field. Last week was the first time to play when the sun is setting, so you get a little bit more of that moisture, that condensation on the field, first primetime game. So I think that, maybe that's something you have to adjust to in terms of the molded cleat versus the 7-stud. Maybe we see teams, like Jason said, going to that right away because of how slick the surface is going to be with the sun down.
20, what is it going to be, 26 degrees at kickoff? Jason, you're blessed to be in the press box, man. It's going to be cold out there.
Oh, I believe me, I know. Like, I don't – the walk from the parking lot to the Tundra Trio each week for home games, I remind myself every time that I don't know how folks do this. And I am thankful on this Thanksgiving for all the people that listen to everything we do and read what I write and all the other great stuff that they do to support, watch, because now we're a TV show. But I'm really also appreciative of the people that brave the cold to watch a game on Thanksgiving night of this football team, because there ain't no way in hell I'm going out there. It's way too cold. I'm soft, and I have no interest. I'm curious, JB,
I was just about to ask
how
him,
the hell did you play in this stuff? Because this isn't even bad.
No.
Like the 07 NFC Championship game or that 07 Chicago game. I remember there have been 2 times in my life that I have been so cold that I wanted to cry, but I figured my tears would freeze on my face. Walking to a bar in Minneapolis when I was covering a Wisconsin-Minnesota hockey series, and everyone else went and got a beer, and I got a hot chocolate because I was so cold and I don't drink. And then at Chicago, the game where Favre kept waiting until everyone else was on the field to go out there, and he was so bad against the Bears. And we walked from the Waldron Deck parking garage to the stadium, and I thought, I don't know if I can make it all the way to Soldier Field. So how JB played in those games is absolutely beyond me. How did you do it? What was the secret sauce that you were able to play under those conditions?
Well, I think it's simple. I think, do you want to win in the cold or do you want to lose in the cold? And I think I want
to be warm in the cold, JB.
Winning and losing never crossed Jason's mind. It's more of a warmth equation.
Right. But, I mean, you can in your mind, when you're putting on that helmet, that ice-cold helmet at that time, it's like, okay, you have a decision to make. Either you're going to block out the cold and go win the football game and still be cold, or you're going to be cold and then lose the game.
And that's even worse.
Yeah, Were you a sleeveless guy, JB? Did you go out there without sleeves?
I think that game, the Chicago game, I did wear sleeves. The wind was that.
Wimp.
It was that. Yeah. 07, we went out there with no sleeves to make the point that it was home team territory, hold the fort down. This is our Lambeau Field. And unfortunately, it wasn't the result that we wanted. But
Yeah, Tom Coughlin's cheeks disagreed. Yeah, that's his Lambeau Field.
Were you a stand by the heater guy, or was your attitude, I don't want to stand there because then I'm just going to be colder than when I have to go out there?
You know what? The Packers employees are phenomenal. Brian and Odie, they do a phenomenal job, especially with Flea and the training staff. They do a great job of when you're on the bench that they'll come and cover you with their jackets to allow you to warm up and kind of use the jacket as a parachute while you're sitting on the bench. Very rarely did I go next to the Jets because if you got too close, they would actually burn. So I was like,
goodness,
could see me doing that for sure.
Yeah. And guys' gloves will melt. Yeah, for sure. Definitely a thing.
Melting gloves. That's fun stuff.
I'm enjoying the JB hour. This is fun. I'm asking
the
questions
JB
instead of
frigid,
answering them.
the JB frigid hour. Well, we need to
We're just chilling.
We need to take a break, but we will continue to learn. That was good. You know
you
what? I was going to ignore it. No, I was going to ignore it, but
hurtful.
Gabe laughed, and then I figured I had to.
It made me chuckle. It was bad, but it made me chuckle.
Easy audience. I'll just say that much. Hey, green and gold fans, it's game day. Kick off your tailgate with Bacardi. Whether it's a Bacardi and cola, lime and soda, or spiced in cola, Bacardi, your game day go-to. Grab a bottle at your local retailer. Live passionately, drink responsibly. Bacardi USA, Miami, Florida. Rum 40%, alcohol by volume. Can the Packers do anything to make you watch them tonight and go, whoa, maybe they are NFC championship contenders? We dive into that coming up next. It's Green Bay Game Day, presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
More Green Bay Game Day coming up on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Football season. Best time of the year and my favorite time of the year. This is ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman. On game days, my favorite teammate is a cold carbless in my hand. Premium cocktails in a can made right here in the great state of Wisconsin. Maybe it's when I'm at the tailgate ahead of kickoff or getting ready at home for the game. Carbless is there. Zero sugar, zero carbs, and gluten-free. Carbless features classic cocktails like margarita, Paloma, and even Moscow Mule, and vodka cocktail flavors like cranberry, lemon, and peach. Find it on your next grocery trip. Carbless. Less is more.
This holiday season, the Salvation Army needs your help. Bell ringers are working hard, and our service depends on generous donations like yours. Every dollar donated helps us provide meals, shelter, and emergency support to families in crisis, not just at Christmas, but all year long. From immediate need to long-term care, your donation can create lasting change in our communities. Join us in making a difference. Volunteer as a bell ringer or donate today. Visit salvationarmywi.org to learn how you can help.
At Cousin Subs, the bigger your smile, the better we feel. That's why our menu features something for everyone, like our Wisconsin cheese curds, golden fries, creamy shakes, and mac and cheese, all paired with your favorite sub or our subs in a bowl. And don't forget our kids' meals, now with a free cookie. Here's to a better day. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
All you men, listen up. It's future Mrs. Brust here. I want to tell you about my wonderful experience at Robert Hack Diamonds. My fiance Ben and the team at Robert Hack picked out my dream engagement ring for me, and then I personally worked with their team to pick out the perfect wedding band. Experience what I did at Robert Hack Diamonds. Stop in at their Brookfield or Greenfield location. While you're there, mention ESPN and spend at least $2,000 right now on any of their in-stock jewelry and get a free pair of 2-carat total weight diamond studs. It's a deal you can't pass up. If it wasn't for Robert Hack Diamonds and their team of jewelry experts, I wouldn't have trusted my fiance Ben to make the right call. View what they have in stores online at roberthackdiamonds.com and get free diamond stud earrings. All you have to do is mention ESPN at their Brookfield or Greenfield locations when purchasing at least $2,000 of in-stock jewelry. I promise you won't be disappointed.
Make plans to spend Thanksgiving night with 81,000 of your closest green and gold friends. Good tickets to Thursday's game are available, and the Ticket King can get you there. Ticket King is your local and most trusted source to buy Green Bay tickets. Get your seats by visiting theticketking.com or call 414-273-6007. Theticketking.com is your one-stop shop to get you to Thursday's game against Miami. Theticketking.com. And make sure you follow Ticket King on Facebook and Instagram.
Wins, wins, and more wins are waiting to be uncovered at Potawatomi. Get ready to find yours in a winter stash of $300,000 in prizes this December. Play with your rewards card for entries, drawings on 3 thrilling Thursdays. Some seriously big wins are waiting for you. Winter Stash at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive is bringing us all together again to collect toys for children and families in need.
Join Capco and WTMJ for a celebration of giving on December 7th at the Kazmarek Center in Grafton.
This is more than just a toy drive. It's about kids helping kids. We are learning the importance of giving and how that impacts other kids and families all over Wisconsin.
Experience the joy of giving on December 7th.
And don't forget to bring toys.
Help us make a difference this Christmas. Visit kidstokidstoydrive.com.
Welcome back to Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Went from Mr. 305, Dade County, to Mr. Worldwide, all around the world. And now, we're international, so international.
Green Bay Game Day presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin with the ESPN Wisconsin 620 WTMJ on your Thanksgiving evening. Alex Strouf, Gabe Neitzel, and the 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde, hanging out with you. Jason and I at the Tundra Trio just outside the south end zone of Lambeau Field. A lot of Dolphins fans rolling in here in lot one behind us. A couple of bonfires going on in the 25-degree weather. We were discussing in the commercial break how Jason just doesn't get it still, right? Ongoing discussion.
I respect it. I want to be clear. I very much respect it. I just don't. I don't know how they do it, and God bless them. Harold Sr. and Harold Jr. were teaching me about layers that they were going with.
Yes.
I don't have to layer. I've got my little shirt with the whale on it. What is that? Vineyard Vines?
You're asking the
got
wrong
it as
guy.
a gift.
I'm wearing a shirt from the TikTok shop. So
the TikTok shop.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, we'll have to explore that at another time.
Jason, you and I each and every week. It's been Wednesdays. It'll be Wednesday this week and next week, but typically on Thursdays we record a digital-only and podcast-only show called Weekly Wilde. You love the name of it.
I do.
But you said something this week that caught my ear, and I want to dive into here.
Caught my ear. That's a good line. I like that. Well said.
Thanks, Jason. That seemed as insincere as possible.
No,
Gabe, was that insincere?
No,
he
was complimenting
I'm gonna start
you.
using it.
Okay.
God, it's so good to have Gabe on the panel.
Why? Because he takes your side 98% of the time?
Well, you're just a little sensitive, Stroufy. Like
You are
just gotta.
I am sensitive. Yes, we know this. We've established. I'm a
even take a
sensitive fella.
compliment.
I'm a sensitive fella. Anyway, you said something that caught my ear, and that was you think this Packers team is still a year away.
I did say that.
Can they do anything tonight against the Miami Dolphins that makes you rethink that?
No, I don't think so. I mean, look, they are a good football team. Don't get me wrong when I say that, and certainly don't, take me out of context and make it sound like I don't think that this is a playoff team or even a team that could win a playoff game or two. I just feel like, and there are certainly exceptions to the rule, but there tend to be progressions that teams make on their way to being championship teams, right? And look, my first year covering this team was Super Bowl 31 that season. But I was certainly aware of 93 and 94 beating Detroit in the first round of the playoffs. 95 knocking off the defending champs, going to Dallas, having a lead in the NFC Championship game before their nemesis got them again. But 96, it felt different. And this team, with the mistakes it makes, with the quarterback's inconsistency, which, again, is totally normal. And I feel like, and Gabe, tell me if you agree with this, I feel like Jordan Love spoiled us with that second half of last season to the point that we expected maybe a little more than we should have. And when I tried to tamp that down going into the season, I was a hater. And I am definitely not a Jordan Love hater. I am incredibly respectful of what he's become.
Could we call you a Jordan Love lover?
That's probably strong, and that did not catch my ear the same way whatever I said caught yours. But to me, there is a progression, and they've made steps. And I said this, I think, in that same clip, that I think they are a better team than they were last year, and there is a distinct possibility, because they're most likely going to have to go on the road no matter what, that they are not going to get as far as they did last year. They may win their first playoff game, but they may not play as well as they did for 3 quarters in San Francisco, for example. Look, everybody is flawed. And I think you saw today that after rolling up 246 first-half yards, even the Lions show some struggles or some less than dominant traits about their team. Mm-hmm. And so I'm not ruling out them being a Super Bowl 59 team. I'm just saying, to me, they feel like they are still a work in progress.
Yeah, 100%, Jason. I think it's a situation where we thought all the growing was done last year. Oh, they're the youngest team in the league. Oh, we went through all the growing pains in the first 8-9 games last year, and then the final 8 games. Then the playoff game. All the growing's done. But then they're the youngest team in the league again this year. And turns out, when you're consistently the youngest team in the league, what do young players consistently do? Make mistakes. And that's what we're seeing with this team. We see the flashes, and we go, oh, man, can you imagine if this team would play consistent without the mistakes and be really good in the red zone and great on third down, kind of like we saw last week against the San Francisco 49ers? You see what that greatness can look like, but the problem is it's really hard for young players to be able to consistently do that, and that's what this team is full of. That's what happens when you're the youngest team in the league. There's still some growth that has to happen within this team, and you're going to see the flashes of it, but ultimately I'm with Jason. If they have to go on the road 3 straight times, it's going to be really hard for a young team to avoid the mistakes that young players typically make in the playoffs against really good teams.
Yeah, and something important to note, right? We mentioned going on the road 3 straight times. The 2010 team did that, but the 2010 team also was not the youngest team in the league. They had a ton of veteran presence, including a guy like Charles Woodson to lead that defense who had been there before. So maybe not on the road all 3 games, but a guy who had been in those big postseason moments. So it's a little bit different. Now, that's not saying, I don't think any of us are saying it's impossible for the Packers to get to the Super Bowl, but the odds will certainly be stacked against them.
Well, and look, the 2010 team certainly made it look easier than it is. I believe they were only the second team to ever do it, right? They're the first team to do it as a 6 seed.
Correct.
They were only the second team to do it. The Giants did it the year that they beat the Packers here in 2007. Yep. So, look, I want to see Jordan Love continue to look more like second half of last season Jordan Love.
Is that obtainable, though?
Look more like him, not replicated entirely. But, Pete Doherty from the Green Bay Press-Gazette was asking some questions during the week last week about second-year quarterbacks, and it goes back to kind of what we talked about in my Bob Ross references. Like, once you have some success, you want to push the limits. You want to see what else you're capable of, and we talked about this earlier in the season when he was throwing the interceptions that he was. I just like him taking the checkdowns more frequently and mitigating the number of risks he takes. Look, he has got a strong arm. We didn't see it the first couple of years we watched him in training camp, but between being coached by Tom Clements, who somehow, with his focus on fundamentals and footwork and technique, makes everyone's arm stronger. Mm-hmm. He made Rodgers' arm stronger. He made Matt Flynn's arm stronger. Didn't manage to do it with Brian Brown, but that's probably another story for another day. Has certainly done it now with Jordan Love. And he loves how strong his arm is, and he loves to throw the deep ball. And sometimes it's ill-advised, and sometimes he's right on the money and his wide receiver drops it. But you still want those to be part of this offense. What you don't want are the triple coverage, double coverage throws that are as risky. And what he has done the last 2 weeks is he has found some checkdowns. He has thrown the ball away when he needs to. And that is the piece that was missing, in my opinion, in the first half of the season.
How much of a role does Josh Jacobs' emergence play in that? Or is that completely unrelated in your mind?
No, I think the emergence and the better health of Aaron Jones last year played a factor in why he played that way. The offensive line, in my opinion, the offensive line has been pretty darn solid all throughout the year. I mean, what has he been sacked 10 times all season? I mean, that's pretty remarkable, especially when you look at another young quarterback. Now he's a rookie, but Caleb Williams has been sacked like 46 or 47 times, and it's the most in the league. So my point is that I think he is in a really good place. The progress continues, but I think, Jordan Love is in his second year as the starter. Aaron Rodgers was in his third year as the starter when they went to the Super Bowl. Now, Favre, it was, I think, his fourth or his fifth year as the starter, but they were all kind of roughly the same age, too. I just think the development still has a little ways to go.
Sure.
How much talk about the offensive line, Jason, is Josh Myers somebody who they now might consider bringing back and re-signing? Because it felt like at the beginning of the year, okay, Josh Myers, he started all these games, but they're probably going to move on from him at the end of the year. But especially we saw the one game, granted it was a wet game, you slide Elton Jenkins over, had some dad snaps out of the shotgun. Is Josh Myers somebody they might bring back?
We posed this exact same question to Brian Bulaga, who certainly knows more than me, and his immediate reaction was, no, probably not, unfortunately. Because, again, if you're going to have to pay Zach Tom after this season, I would think you could probably let him go into his fourth season. But at some point during his fourth season, you're going to pay him, right? You would agree?
Yep, I would agree.
And so you've already allocated money clearly to Elton Jenkins. Rasheed Walker is going to be going into his fourth season too. I don't think he's an elite left tackle that you're going to pay big money to. But you seem to have decided that Josh Morgan is a guard, right? Jordan Morgan, sorry.
Jordan.
So I don't know. You corrected me, and you didn't even correct me correctly.
I did this earlier in the month on Mr. Relevant. Jacob Morgan was a former defensive back at UW-Stevens Point.
And he got a shout-out from you now twice.
Yeah.
We'll have to track him down.
Happy Thanksgiving, Jacob.
If I would have just gotten it right, it wouldn't have mattered. But my point is that I don't know if they'll be willing to pay him, Gabe, and that was Brian's point, because he deserves to get paid. And someone is going to pay him. Mm-hmm. And if I am him, I would love for the Packers to be that team, and I think it's unlikely that I am going to get my true value from the Packers, who have already invested and are looking and going, hey, we drafted Jacob Monk, not to be confused with Jacob Morgan, and he can be a center. Elton Jenkins can certainly slide over and be the new starting center, and you could start Sean Ryan and Jordan Morgan as your two guards. You've got your two tackles that you might want to pay. So they've got options. Look, I think what we're losing sight of, or at least I am by describing this situation, is that Josh Myers has played pretty damn good football.
He's played really good football.
He's played well.
And so to that point, I don't think you like to have good football players walk out of your building unless you're the New York Giants, who did a great job of letting Saquon Barkley and Xavier McKinney walk out. But look at the Giants. They were the team that paid John Runyon, who is a good football player. He is a good NFL guard, and he may become a very good NFL guard. But the Packers did not feel the need to pay him, and I fear that Josh Myers will get the same treatment.
Fascinating stuff there from the three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde. Gabe Neitzel, Alex Strouf hanging out with you here on Green Bay Game Day, which is presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Halftime in Dallas, the Cowboys lead the Giants 13-10. The Cooper Rush, Drew Lock extravaganza out in Dallas. What a quarterback matchup that one was. In your final, as we've mentioned a few times from earlier in the day, the Detroit Lions survive against the Chicago Bears, a final of 23-20. Make sure you tune into Green Bay Game Night after the game to hear the high-energy play of the game, which is brought to you by Water Joe. Hydrate and energize with Water Joe. No sugar, no additives, and no off flavors. Just two simple ingredients, water and caffeine. Find Water Joe for only 99 cents per bottle at your local Festival Foods. Jason, you know what's coming next?
Matt Eberflus calling a timeout.
No.
He still has one.
Yes.
He does.
Coming up next is Yes or No with Jason Wilde on Green Bay Game Day.
We're back with Green Bay Game Day after this on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
For over 4 decades, one name has stood out as a symbol of excellence in automotive sales and service. It's the Boucher Automotive Group, dedicated to providing exceptional experiences to all of our valued customers.
We will help you find the perfect vehicle within your budget while respecting your time. With 20 convenient locations, we're the one-stop destination for all your automotive needs.
At Boucher, we're your trusted partner on every mile of your journey. Riding with you every mile since 1977.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right. And naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys. Beyond the bottle, Tito's has gained a reputation for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits around the world to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's and learn more at Tito'sVodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Gift giving is easy with an Island Resort and Casino gift card. Every person on your list can spend their time just the way they like it. Dining, going to a concert, relaxing at the Drift Spa, playing golf. No matter the reason, gift cards to the Midwest's premier resort destination are a sure bet. To order gift cards, stop by the Island Club today or call 877-ISL-SHOW. Then spread some joy because everyone knows your total experience is at the Island.
Another MVP has joined the roster at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Dr. Ryan Stefanchek. Board certified in sports medicine, physical medicine, and rehabilitation, Dr. Stefanchek specializes in non-operative treatment of the spine, chronic pain, all joints, all musculoskeletal problems, and more, emphasizing holistic care first, with a focus on diet, sleep, stress management, and social connections for a patient's well-being. At Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference.
This time of year can be really tough on a number of areas in your home. If you're struggling with any electrical issues, the superheroes at Current Electric are ready to help you. Chuck Smith is a Brookfield Central grad who started Current Electric over 40 years ago. His mission was to serve our community with integrity and quality. Whether it's as small as a switch repair or as large as rewiring your entire home to a generator to keep your lights on or even interest in solar energy, call on the superheroes from Current Electric. Go to callcurrent.com. That's callcurrent.com.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Rick, describe some of our wow Christmas gifts while Sarah and I name the prices and add a little commentary.
Okay. A 1.5 carat total weight diamond bolo bracelet.
Amazingly unique. Just $1,598.
Half carat total weight inside outside diamond hoop earrings.
Just $698.
1 carat total weight is just $898.
A fabulous 3 carat oval created diamond.
But we only have a few of these.
Just $3,998.
A 1 carat total weight created diamond tennis bracelet.
Just $898.
We also have the big 1 carat total weight natural diamond tennis bracelet for just $1,798.
And from now until Christmas, we have 18 months same as cash financing.
With approved credit.
And a delightful gift for you with every purchase of at least $300.
Merry Christmas.
Welcome to Kessler's.
Find the Kesslers nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
You're listening to Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Green Bay Game Day leading up to kickoff. Packers, Dolphins here in week number 13 of the NFL season already. That's bananas to me.
Season flies by, my friend.
This is season what for you, 28?
29.
29. Does it go faster every year, or does it similarly always go fast for you?
Yeah, the season and my life seems to be going very fast, yes. I don't know how it's almost December. This month has flown by incredibly quickly.
It sure has. That's Jason Wilde, the 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year. I'm Alex Strouf. Gabe Neitzel, does time fly by faster as you age?
I think so. I'm not sure, man. I just try to keep up with whatever day it is. That's.
Hey, this conversation is better than yes or no. So let's just ride with it.
Hey.
Yeah. Hey.
No. It is time now to play Yes or No with Jason Wilde.
Will today be the day there are black and white answers from our most respected journalist?
Possibly. I think we shouldn't be greedy. Maybe. You would certainly hope so.
It's time for Yes or No with Jason Wilde.
Jason Wilde, you are excited to play this game today.
My feelings are mixed.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Let's start here. We've mentioned the stat of the day.
Just lying.
Yeah, that's fair.
No, look, the concept behind it is terrible, but a lot of times it leads to good conversation, so that's why my feelings are mixed.
The concept behind it is terrible. And he calls me sensitive. How do you not be sensitive to something like that? Your brainchild. Anyway, Gabe, I would like you to sing for me on this Thanksgiving. It is time now for me to repeat from earlier in the show our stat of the day.
Stat of the day, stat of the day.
Your stat of the day, Tua Tagovailoa.
It is time for the stat of the day.
Tua Tagovailoa, the Dolphins quarterback, 0-7 in games when it's under 40 degrees outside. It is going to be about 26 degrees at kickoff. Asked earlier in the week, head coach Mike McDaniel says this is how he's going to prepare his players for the frigid temperatures.
I was just going to carry ice cubes in my pockets and throw them at players all week. It's nothing revolutionary. I'm not going to throw it out there for the world and act like we've checked the box of we've got this answered.
So that's Mike McDaniel, the Dolphins' head coach. Quirky, weird guy. Mm-hmm. I want to focus strictly on his joke there. I'm going to carry around ice cubes and throw them at players. Effective strategy to prepare for a cold weather game, yes or no, Jason Wilde?
So I thought if you were going to choose something he said that was interesting or quirky, I thought it was going to be the Matt LaFleur is really handsome exchange that he had. Did you hear this?
I didn't.
And then Omar Kelly, I think he's from the Florida Sun-Sentinel, argued that Sean McVay was better looking.
Oh, wow.
So there was a whole debate during one of those press conferences.
Well, what's your take on it?
So the next time you tune in...
Okay, we'll get to it. We'll get to it in a
Ashton
moment.
Rotman.
He's such a stud.
He should produce shows, but he's moved up the food chain. He's kind of a big deal now.
Kind of a big deal. But here he is with us on Thanksgiving. Us little deals.
Lots, yeah. So I enjoy Mike McDaniel's Mike McDaniel *S, not plural, but possessive.
Thank you for that clarification.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify, not to be confused with Josh McDaniels, who was a really bad head coach.
Very bad.
2 opportunities.
Terrible.
He is quirky. There's no doubt about it, but he's really an innovative guy. He's a really smart guy. I don't think that ice cube chucking is an effective way. I also don't believe he has a plan of any kind. That's why he said the line about... Because what can you do? Right. You are in Miami.
Crank the air conditioning?
Yeah, look, they have done it here during my time covering this team when they wanted to have a quality practice, so they went indoors. Now, Matt LaFleur doesn't have the same philosophy, but then they left all the doors open. Or if they were playing in Arizona, they would have a practice inside the Hudson Center and turn the heat up to like 90 degrees, hoping that they could turn it into a sauna. I don't know if any of that stuff works. You got to go out here and play in these conditions. And based on Tua's history, which he talked about during the week, how he likes to destroy narratives, and he would love to destroy this one. Well, he's playing pretty well right now. He also said during the week he's not going to wear a glove, which I think is interesting because that seems to be what a lot of other quarterbacks, not named Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers, like to do in cold weather. So I'm curious if he changes that tune after a series or two.
Interesting. Good stuff there from Jason Wilde.
None of them the answer to the question.
No. Well, yeah, you've avoided it very well, so I'm just going to pose it to Gabe Neitzel. Gabe Neitzel, would you be motivated if you got ice cubes thrown at you?
No motivation there. I think Tua's got an opportunity, I think, today to wreck a couple of narratives, going off of what Jason said about how he wants to wreck narratives. One, he can't play in cold weather, and two, the Dolphins can't beat a team with a winning record. Because that was the narrative about them last year. They beat the Cowboys late in the season. That was it. And this year, they weren't playing well before he got the concussion. He missed 4 games after that. They lost the 2 games against teams that lead their division in the Cardinals and the Bills, and this 3-game winning streak that they're on. And Tua played well in those games. They just happened to lose them. They were tight games. So if they go in, if they come into Lambeau Field and win against the Packers tonight, that can change the narrative about Tua in cold weather, and that changes the narrative about Tua and the Dolphins about, hey, can they actually beat good teams?
Well, follow up for you, Gabe Neitzel, on that thought. Yes or no, that would change the narrative about the Packers if they are to lose to the Dolphins today?
What's the narrative on the Packers? What narrative would it be?
They're a top 3 team in the NFC.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's going to knock them down a peg, without a doubt. I mean, you have to keep pace with the Lions. I think it's unlikely that they catch the Lions, but they showed that they're capable of tripping up. Right? So if the Packers trip up in this game and it takes some of the meaning out of the game next week, it's still a big game. It still becomes a measuring stick game. But either way, if the Packers win today, they go into Detroit next week, you beat the Lions, well, now you're even on the head-to-head tiebreaker. You're only 1 game behind, and you have an opportunity. Suddenly, it seems a little bit more plausible that you might catch the Lions, and you don't have to go on the road for 3 straight games.
Yeah, Jason, I know there was a lot of discussion this week on Wilde and Tausch, weekdays 9 to noon on ESPN Wisconsin, about what Tausch said after the win on Sunday. The Packers are a top 2 team. He then said, okay, maybe the Eagles are in there. Definitively, in your mind, yes or no, the Packers are a top 3 team in the NFC?
Well, look, it all depends on how you view the Vikings. And they seem to always find a way. And we're always spending time downgrading Sam Darnold this. But, look, they've got a defense that clearly knows what it's doing. I believe the Packers and the Vikings now are almost neck and neck in terms of takeaways too. I just think that you can underestimate them at your own peril. But again, the Packers will have an opportunity to definitively say that we're as good, if not better, than these guys if they go into Minnesota on December 29th and beat them. But look, they beat the Packers here. They got out to a 28-0 lead here. Jordan Love was coming back from his injury.
They only lost by 2 points, but the game wasn't that close. It wasn't. They never had the ball in the second half with like a chance to win. I mean, they kind of backdoored their way to that 2 point deficit.
Right, and so I think ultimately, do I believe the Packers are better than the Vikings? I do, but I don't have, in my opinion, enough evidence to say that as definitively as others have. And I also, look, I know that it's fun to poke fun at Nick Sirianni and question whether or not he's a good coach. But there's another team, like the Packers have 3 losses. Their losses are to the Vikings, the Lions, and the Eagles. Those are the 3 teams that we're saying should or could be ahead of them in this conference. And I'm not telling Packers fans how to feel, but much like that 96 team I brought up earlier who did not have to play the Cowboys on the road to New Orleans and Super Bowl 31, I think the best thing that can happen if you don't win the division is that the 49ers don't win the NFC West and they miss the playoffs. And if you have to go somewhere, you're going to Arizona, you're going to LA, or you're going to Seattle, and then you don't have to exercise that playoff demon, and you can get to New Orleans, ironically enough, for Super Bowl 59.
All right,
one of the other narratives that's out there, one of the other narratives that's out there, I know from a certain sector of the fan base is, they played down to their competition. No, they just haven't played up to the competition when they've needed to Jason's point. When they've had those opportunities to prove that they belong in the same tier as the Eagles, as the Detroit Lions, they have failed. Straight up. And they'll have an opportunity to prove they belong next week, but it'll mean less if you don't take care of business tonight.
100% agree with you on that. Green Bay Game Day presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. I guess we're going to have to table our most handsome head coach in the NFL discussion.
That's a shame.
What's your answer?
I don't know.
Gabe?
Mike McCarthy.
Most handsome head coach in the league.
Matt Eberflus.
No.
I mean, Flus does look good.
Moment, guys.
Like, Flus does look good.
He looked really good standing there dumbfounded as he didn't use his timeout.
Jason, how do you double down? How do you know you did something so incredibly stupid, and then you stand up at the podium and go, yeah, I liked it. I think we did the right thing.
Wait, did he really say that?
Yes, he sure did. Yeah. Well, we
do
talked
you
about
want
this
the quote?
You joined us.
He definitely should be fired.
Yeah, I
You can't you can
don't
say,
let him on the plane.
Look, we should have communicated it better. That's not, he should take ownership for it, right?
Doubling down on stupid.
I could have called a timeout there. I could have saved. I understand they're trying to save the timeout to try and kick the field goal. I understand all that, but once it's going off the rails, you have to be cognizant of the situation.
I think we handled it the right way. It didn't work out the way we wanted to, is the quote.
Yeah, he's going to get – I mean, poor Sylvie's going to be sitting in that tire swing in his backyard. If you haven't seen Sylvie, man, on a swing on his social media. I laugh because it's funny, but I also laugh because I feel bad for our friends in Chicago who I know got their hopes up this season, and it just keeps getting worse.
It just keeps getting worse. Yes, Waddle and Sylvie on ESPN 1000, our sister station. Mark Silverman, terrific. Not safe for work, though. I would just put that asterisk on the swing videos. Don't watch that in front of
Be careful who you're
children.
watching that in front of.
Yes, correct. Yes, that would be my asterisk on that. All right, we get to the injury report, the official inactives and actives. Coming up next, we also get parting thoughts from our friend Jason Wilde. That's next. Green Bay Game Day, presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
Stay right here. Green Bay Game Day will be right back on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
It's the holiday season, my favorite time of year. Festive decorations, family gatherings, using our gift boxes. Honestly, I'm happier to see a Using Our Gift Box at my door than Santa. The Using Our Gift Box doesn't require cooking, just eating. And who's not up for that during the holidays? Make someone's day by sending them the tastiest gift in town, a box filled with Using Our's delicious sausage, cheese, and assorted goodies. Order yours today. It's easy. Just go to usingar.com and click on gifts.
Wins, and more wins are waiting to be uncovered at Potawatomi. Get ready to find yours in a winter stash of $300,000 in prizes this December. Play with your rewards card for entries, drawings on 3 thrilling Thursdays. Some seriously big wins are waiting for you. Winter Stash at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
'Tis the season for celebrating, so why not make your holiday gathering unforgettable? Give your team or clients an experience they'll talk about long after the new year with V Private Bar Services. Forget the same old office party. With custom cocktails tailored to your brand and a top-notch mixologist team, V Private Bar Services brings the magic of a high-end bar to your event. Make this holiday season extraordinary. Visit vprivatebar.com to book your premier party today. That's vprivatebar.com for your next unforgettable event.
There's a good chance you're on a budget. We all are. But she wants a diamond. You know it, I know it. And Robert Hack Diamonds knows it too, because they offer a huge collection of lab-grown diamonds, and they sell them at crazy prices. How about 2-carat total weight diamond studs for free when you mention ESPN and purchase at $2,000 of in-stock jewelry? You'll receive a free pair of 2-carat total weight diamond studs. Robert Hack Diamonds can get any size, shape, or clarity in natural or lab-grown diamonds. Don't buy until you call Robert Hack Diamonds in Greenfield or in Brookfield. Why overspend when you can save at Robert Hack Diamonds for the same diamond you're looking for? Spend at least $2,000 on in-stock jewelry and you get 2-carat diamond studs free, as long as you mention ESPN. Your visit will be worth it, and she'll think so too. Robert Hack also offers repair services and cash for your old gold. Robert Hack Diamonds, roberthackdiamonds.com, roberthackdiamonds.com. Visit them in Brookfield or in Greenfield.
It's finally here. Stop into Menards for amazing Black Friday deals. Dog toy 3-packs are $11.99 each. 42-ounce Ultimate Snack Tins are just $9.99 each. Plus, save $40 on a wine opener gift set, now just $19.99. There's so many great Black Friday deals I can't list them all. You'll have to hurry to Menards while supplies last to get these and many more Black Friday deals. Sale good Black Friday through December 1st. See Menards.com for details.
Save big money at Menards.
After a crash with a semi-truck, everything can change instantly. At Gruber Law Offices, we have the knowledge and experience to make sure you're protected. And we're here to help whenever you need us. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Fisco is always there for your auto body care. When accidents happen, Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin is there when you need them. Got a broken mirror? They'll take care of it. dented bumper, scratch paint, Fisco Auto Body will take care of it. If there's any damage you need fixed, Fisco has you covered. Their expert workmanship is guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. So stop in for all of your auto bumps and dings. Once again, you know the line. That's Fisco, Fisco, Fisco.
Give the gift of a special night out from the Bartolotta Restaurants. Purchase a gift card at bartolottas.com and get a $20 holiday bonus for every $100 you spend. Happy holidays from all of us at the Bartolotta Restaurants, and thank you, Milwaukee.
This is Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Miss Worldwide, let's celebrate. Yeah, yeah.
Green Bay Game Day, presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Alex Strouf, the three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde, and Mr. Worldwide himself, Gabe Neitzel, making an appearance with us here.
You guys in or out on Pitbull?
Ooh, great question.
I'm in. And I feel like this is a great, after a victory song that should be played throughout stadiums, etc. I'm a big fan of this. I think they play it after Packers games when they win, right? And then they play like that John Cougar Mellencamp Small Town when they lose. Because at least we still live in a small town or something. I don't know what the philosophy is behind it, but yeah.
Sounds like something you should ask Bill Jartz. I feel like he might know the answer.
He's too busy shushing the crowd.
Shushing the crowd and stopping the wave and offense at work.
Quiet, please.
Offense at work.
I love Jartzy. I love Bill Jartz. For those that don't know, and then we'll get to the injury report because nothing is super surprising on it. But Bill Jartz was a sports guy here in Green Bay on WBAY before he became the main news anchor. And so when he does the highlights during games at Lambeau Field on the red zone, whatever that is, he gets back to his old roots. And between that and telling people to be quiet, he is quite the character on the microphone at Lambeau Field. So be sure to check that out the next time you attend a game.
Denmark guy these days.
We got a lot of great people from Denmark, from what I can tell.
I am not one of them. All right, time now to take a look at the injury report, which is presented by the I said it by the Orthopedic Associates.
It's like preemptive, though. I don't get it.
All right, today's injury report presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Visit orthowisconsin.com today for info.
Great job doing orthopedic. You've really gotten that mastered now. I'm so proud of you.
So is Gabe.
Yeah. That was fatherly, too. All right, so three inactives that you were expecting, obviously, right? Romeo Dobbs ruled out. Jair Alexander ruled out, and Edger and Cooper were all ruled out. The fourth is Jacob Monk, who is a healthy scratch, but might be their starting center a year from now. The most important piece of that, Josh Myers, who was questionable, and Isaiah McDuffie, who was questionable, both of them are playing. So that is good news. We know how the offense missed Josh Myers, who we spent a good portion of the program on tonight. Him playing is a really important deal.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
And so is Isaiah McDuffie.
And I was just about to say, McDuffie, with the obviously you mentioned Edgerrin Cooper out, not super deep at linebacker. They haven't been all season, so they're lucky to have him back in the mix alongside, as you mentioned, Quay Walker. We talked about a bit. Tyron Hopper, you said you're going to get some snaps at linebacker, it sounds like?
Yeah, that was the plan, but I don't know how much. I think they probably looked at his time that he was out there last week, and I think they probably want to give him some opportunity, but I think they probably want to limit that just because he's working his way into the rotation.
And then your guy, Body Beautiful, Eric Wilson.
I am a big Eric Wilson guy. I did not nickname him that. That is Rich Bisaccia who nicknamed him that.
But you like the nickname.
What I like about it is what Matt LaFleur said, which was that to look like he does. I mean, he does. He looks like he should be like modeling underwear at Kohl's or something. You have to be really disciplined to look like that. And
hold on.
There's not the discipline here, as you can probably.
But why was that the
because
the
when
reference?
you buy clothes at Kohl's, they've got like on the Calvin Klein underwear thing. It's a guy that looks nothing like me on the box.
He looks like Eric Wilson.
Yes. No, does that not?
No, I got to be honest. I'm not paying a lot of attention to underwear models at Kohl's. To be real,
I'm not. They're not walking around the store. They're on the box when you buy the underwear.
I understand that, but again,
when's the last time you bought underwear?
For myself?
Is that a common gift?
Who are you
Common
buying
gift,
underwear
yeah.
for?
No. I'm not buying underwear for other people.
Well,
I'm saying other people are buying underwear for me.
If the question is, when's the last time you bought underwear, and your follow-up is, for myself, that implies you're buying underwear for other people.
All right, I'm going to leave my private business. How's that sound, fellas? Huh?
He's the underwear fairy.
He's.
Oh, my God. Guys.
This is what happens. This is what happens, Ashy, when we do a show on Thanksgiving at 6
Why
o'clock
is every show that I somehow produce turn into this?
I don't know. All right.
You produced Jen, Gabe, and Chewy for years.
That's my point.
You worked with Chewy forever. How is this in any way close to some of those programs?
That's a good point.
Gabe?
Good point by Jason.
Well said.
Well said by Jason Wilde, Gabe Neitzel, the underwear fairy, hanging out with you on Green Bay Game Day. Jason, final thoughts. Packers Dolphins coming up in about an hour and 15 minutes.
Look, I'm gonna take something that Gabe said earlier and re-emphasize it because I thought he put it perfectly.
No, it was well said.
It was well said.
Yeah.
And that is, if you stub your toe tonight, that's not the phrase he used, but if you lose tonight, it mitigates how important the Lions game is. It's still important, don't get me wrong, and you still want to win that. But you lessen how much that win would be worth if you lose tonight. And so, and look, I'm not saying that the Dolphins are coming in here as a pushover because it's cold and because Tua doesn't have a good cold weather record. He's never won in cold weather, all that kind of stuff. But I will also admit that I was wrong when we were sitting here. We were out in the truck 4 days ago. I thought that was going to be a really close game. I thought the Packers were going to win it, but I thought it was going to be a close game. And frankly, at halftime, after Christian Watson drops what should be a touchdown, it's 17-7, and the 49ers are getting the ball coming out of halftime. And I think that's where McKinney breaks up the pass on 4th down to Kittle to end that drive. I mean, they go in and score there at 17-14, and then things get really interesting. Tonight, this team needs to do what they did in that game to prevent it from being a come-down-to-the-wire type game that could undermine the value of a win next week if they're able to get one. They need to keep pace, as Gabe said. They need to come out of this tonight at 9-3, going into Detroit with a chance to really make things interesting in the division, riding a 3-game winning streak, riding a lot of confidence. I think even though this is out of their conference, this is a really important game for them to come away with a W.
Yeah, I mean, with only 6 games remaining, counting this one, every game's important.
Right, you're right about that.
And this one is no exception, despite it being their final AFC opponent on the schedule. If you want a chance to win the division, you pretty much have to win out, the way it looks after the Lions get a win earlier in the day. So, no exception here today. Before we let you go, what are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for a lot of things. I will spare you all the sappy things about my family and stuff like that and say this. I've been doing this now for a really long time. I started on a part-time basis with GKB in 2003, so this has been over 20 years. I love how much talent we have on our team, young talent. We're not the youngest team in the league like the Packers are, because we got Gabe, who started when he was 6 working at the company.
I thought it was 5.
What was that show, Jason, you were on in Madison? I'm blanking on the name.
The Dream Team.
The Dream Team, that's what it was.
With a rotating cast of characters and obviously, all the different shows that I get to join. I get to really experience all of the shows that we have across ESPN Wisconsin, and I'm just really, really thankful for all the people that watch us, since we've got this video component now. Listen to us, the folks that read the things I write. I mean, I don't know how people freeze their asses off under these circumstances. I don't. God bless them for doing it. But that passion that Packers fans have allow us to do what we get to do. And there's a hell of a lot of people that work a lot harder than us. And I like to tease you because I want to keep you humble because you're so ridiculously talented. So I'm thankful that I get to work with you on a regular basis.
I am thankful for you as well, Jason. I will save the sarcasm.
That's very well said.
I will save the sarcasm. You won't, I will.
Hey, Gabe, don't forget to remind your dad that I have that $90 check that I wrote 3 months ago that I discovered on my desk.
Okay, I thought we weren't supposed to bring that up. I wanted to bring it up.
Oh, I didn't know that we weren't bringing that up.
You told me last week we weren't.
Well, I brought it up now. It's too late. I got to go. I got to go cover the game.
All right, Jason Wilde. You'll hear him on Wilde and Tausch. You'll hear him after the game on Green Bay Game Night. Are you doing anything programming-wise tomorrow?
Tausch is calling the Badgers game, so listen to it on the Varsity app. I like to sync that up with the TV.
You taking the day off?
No.
Are you going to be on with
World Talk?
Are you going to be on with us in the morning, me and Chew?
Absolutely.
All right.
I got to be honest with you. I don't really read the schedule. When the phone rings, I answer it, and then I appear on the radio. That's kind of my schedule.
That's a good way to end the Jason Wilde Hour. Gabe and I roll on with you, leading up to kickoff between the Packers and Dolphins. After this, it's Green Bay Game Day, presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
More Green Bay Game Day coming up on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
For over 4 decades, one name has stood out as a symbol of excellence in automotive sales and service. It's the Boucher Automotive Group, dedicated to providing exceptional experiences to all of our valued customers.
We will help you find the perfect vehicle within your budget while respecting your time.
With 20 convenient locations, we're the one-stop destination for all your automotive needs.
At Boucher, we're your trusted partner on every mile of your journey, riding with you every mile since 1977.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Did you know Love was born November 2nd? Did you know Love was raised in Bakersfield, California? Did you know Love played college football at Utah State? Are you looking for lots of Love touchdowns the rest of this football season? Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor, where we love being your one-stop shop for everything alcohol-related. With our selection of over 15,000 varieties of beer, wine, liquor, and mixers, all at the lowest prices in town, Discount Liquor has all your tailgating needs covered. We are your football party beverage headquarters. Discount Liquor, 2 locations, Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma, and in downtown Waukesha on Barstow in Maine.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
See all of our weekly specials at discountliquorinc.com.
They say seeing is believing, and when you see what's inside at American Place Casino, you better believe you're gonna love it. Because when it comes to amazing gaming, we're a real game changer. With the most exciting of table games like blackjack, craps, and roulette, the newest slots, a sports book, restaurants, bars, and more. So if you're ready for excitement, we'll see you soon. American Place Casino. Change the game.
Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Freddie Coleman.
The best thing for now, the no problem involving Daniel Jones going to the Minnesota Vikings after taking that money that the Giants were dumb enough to give him in the first place at $40 million per for the last couple of years. Here's the one thing he can do right now. Breathe, because that is something he has never been allowed to have in the last couple of years. The minute that they signed into that contract and they made Saquon Barkley, literally, relatively speaking, have to beg for scraps to a team that he knew he was central to and did not want to leave in the first place. That's why he's running like he's angry at the ground with the Philadelphia Eagles. Daniel Jones had the same opportunity to do this right now. Not so much with Minnesota, because for the first time in the last couple of years, he's going to know what good coaching looks like and having faith in him, because that's what's going to happen with Kevin O'Connell. So no matter where he winds up, he's going to have the healing hands of Kevin O'Connell on him. That's going to do the same thing for him going forward, what he's doing for Sam Darnold this year with the Minnesota Vikings.
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play. Like North America's #1 home fire safety brand, Kidda. Because on a day full of football sounds you love, like fight songs, roaring crowds, and your favorite commentators...
like me, Kirk Herbstreit.
The last sound you want to hear is... Defend your game time with Kidda and the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Based on total household installations as of December 2023.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Tune in to KBN every day at 2 o'clock. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Party people! It's time to get this tailgate started and get you ready for the green and gold game. This is Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Broadcasting live from the shadow of the South End Zone at Lambeau Field. Alongside Gabe Neitzel, here's Alex Strouf.
Yeah, third hour Green Bay Game Day presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin with you. 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 620 WTMJ. A big thanks, by the way, to all of our producers and board ops running the show for us tonight. You guys are the real MVPs. Ashton Rotman, Nate Rilling, and Chrissy Birdsall. Appreciate all of them spending their holiday with us and allowing us to do what we do, which is talk about silliness, goofiness, and the Green Bay Packers. It's a true gratitude moment for Gabriel and I, who we're the smartest guys around. So it's pretty cool. We get to do this each and every week. So Gabe, Packers Dolphins. We've talked about it throughout. The Dolphins certainly pose a threat, right? They're hot. They haven't beaten any good teams in their 3-game winning streak since Tua Tagovailoa's returned to football. But it's still a 3-game winning streak. Similarly to what we said last week leading up to the 49ers game. You can only play who's in front of you. It doesn't matter if they're beat up. It doesn't matter if they're injured. It's still an NFL team. You got to go out there. You got to take care of business. And that's what the Dolphins have done. Offensively, incredibly potent. When you have a guy like Tyreek Hill, when you have a guy like Jalen Waddle, when you have the 1-2 punch in the backfield with Achane and Mostert, they pose some issues, not to mention their tight end Jonnu Smith, who's been on a nice tear. Of the Dolphins' offense, is there a certain guy that you look at and go, whoa, he could ruin my Thanksgiving?
I mean, to me, it's just the combination of Hill and Waddle, and I know Hill hasn't had a great season. The wrist injury has slowed him down, and Waddle has not had a great season. But just that speed, that combination of speed, because when you look at wide receiver tandems, usually they're more complementary. It's not just two really fast guys. I think of, Devontae Smith is that guy in Philadelphia, but then AJ Brown presents a pretty big, mismatch as well because of how big and physical. He can certainly still run past you, but it's a little bit more two different types of receivers. Same thing with Minnesota with what Jordan Addison does and the different challenges you have when you go up against Justin Jefferson. So a lot of times when teams have these 1-2 punches, it's different. So to have two speedy guys, it's a little bit different, and that's where maybe a guy like Jair Alexander feels a little more overmatched when he tries to get physical, and we saw it when he tried to do it down in Brazil against A.J. Brown earlier this year. Maybe that's not the type of guy he's best defending, but I think he's better when, you have some of these speedier guys. He can be a little bit more physical. So no Jair tonight. It just makes me a little bit more nervous for this game because of the way the corners have played outside of Jair this season. We've gotten a little bit more out of Nixon than I thought we would, but Carrington Valentine has been up and down. Obviously, Eric Stokes has completely fallen out of favor. So when you have that type of speed element, that just makes me a little bit more nervous. And that's, again, the biggest thing that the Dolphins have possessed over the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, a really potent offense. And, I mean, you saw that to the levels of didn't they score 70 points last year when they beat the Denver Broncos at one point in the season, right? I mean, they can score points. They can run you out the gym, to use a basketball term. No doubt about that. But obviously the Packers, at least in terms of an offensive match up nicely because they also have a very potent offense, of course, led by the quarterback Jordan Love. Now, you referenced two wide receiver tandems when talking about the Dolphins. You mentioned A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith in Philly, and you mentioned Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson in Minnesota. The Packers have played both of those tandems this year. One game with Jair, as you referenced in Brazil against the Eagles. One game without Jair against the Vikings. Those two games, the Packers lost, Gabe. So I'm not trying to make you talk yourself into picking against the Packers, but clearly in terms of a matchup against these receivers, this does not fare well in the Packers' favor.
Yeah, I mean, when they've done this, it hasn't gone well. It hasn't gone in their favor. They were fortunate where they didn't have to face Jameson Williams when, the Lions were in town. Just really had to worry about Amon-Ra St. Brown in that game. Still, obviously, did not go in the Packers' way. So, yeah, this is something that the Packers have to answer for. The way that they get the ball out of their hands so quick, the way Tua gets the ball out of his hands, I should say, specifically, out of his hands so quick, that's something, when you start digging into the deeper analytics, that's something where Jeff Hafley's defense has struggled a little bit against. They're going to have to be more aggressive, I think. They're going to have to maybe get a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage, try to get a little more physical, which is dangerous, because if you want to get physical with either one of those guys and you miss a jam, next thing you know, they're running past you. So it's a delicate balance, I think, if you're Jeff Hafley, of, okay, how aggressive can we be with those guys on the outside? And even though the pass rush has started to maybe gain a little bit of traction the last couple of weeks, like how much is it actually going to be able to gain traction if Tua's getting the ball out of his hands in less than 2 seconds?
Yeah, it's a really good point by you. And you know, for a team that has had 0 pass rush this season, I'm a little bit worried, right? Like, it's only 47.5, the over-under. I think we're going to see a lot of points tonight, as long as the Packers offense hangs on to their end of the bargain, because this is an offense
the good news,
that matches up really well against this Packers defense.
I mean, the Packers have, punted twice since the bye?
Correct.
I mean, the offense is playing well, especially between the 20s. Especially between the 20s. They struggled a little bit more in the red zone against the Bears. They were 5 for 5,
Chicago,
scoring touchdowns last week against San Francisco, and I'm hoping that's just not a hot streak. I'm hoping that's more, getting closer to a trend. Now, I'm not expecting them to do 80% touchdown in the red zone for the rest of the season, because that's what the 2020 team did, and it was the best in NFL history, right? Like, just to give you a context of how good scoring 8 out of 10 times in the red zone is, but it's certainly a step in the right direction. And what we talked about this, and people, if you want to go check it out, All 20 Chew over on the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube page, Chewy and I talked about this week. The touchdown pass to Tucker Kraft last week. A little bit more creativity out of Matt LaFleur. And I think that's what you need when nobody's really stepping up and showing, okay, I'm going to be the guy. Well, then LaFleur has to dictate, all right, you're going to be our guy in the red zone. We're going to get you these touches. I think we're seeing Josh Jacobs run the ball more efficiently in the red zone, and then being creative with some of the plays that they run, like that tight end screen, is going to lead to more success in the red zone.
I'm curious if there's an extra pep in LaFleur's step when he plays a guy he came up with, right? Like last week it was Shanahan, and he blew the doors off Shanahan and the Niners, right? A final of 38-10 last week. Mike McDaniel and LaFleur obviously coming from the same coaching tree. You mentioned the creativity you saw in that early touchdown to Tucker Kraft last week. More creativity against a guy you came up with, or is it just business as usual? I don't know. That's the psyche I'd be curious to dive into.
So here's the fascinating thing about this matchup specifically to me, and I guess it has nothing to do necessarily with the Dolphins, but you look at the other 2 games today. Like the Bears having to travel to Detroit. That's a common opponent. That's a divisional game. You kind of have an idea, because Eberflus has been in the division for a while. Campbell's been in the division for a while. Right. You kind of have an idea. It's easier to put together a game plan, even though you have 2 backup quarterbacks playing in the game going on right now with the Cowboys and Giants. From a game plan perspective, easier to put something together. It's a divisional opponent. This is an uncommon opponent, and it's an interdivisional matchup. Like, you only see these guys once every 4 years or so. So it's really interesting. Like, what has Matt LaFleur been doing? He's been trying to get some extra work in the last couple of weeks. Did he go back to the bye knowing that he had a short week here going up against Miami, and they want to get a better idea what the Dolphins are doing, so he put in extra work during the bye? That's what I'm fascinated about, because usually on these Thursday games, you get a lot of divisional matchups, like the Packers do next week against the Lions. That's not true. I mean, and again, it cuts both ways, right? Same thing with Mike McDaniel trying to get ready for LaFleur and the Packers. So the fact that they came up together and there might be a little bit familiarity there, I mean, that could work out for both teams as well. But it's always tough to come up with a game plan, and I wonder if things just kind of get pared down and it becomes a simpler game plan on the short week, no practice, tougher to install stuff.
No doubt about that, Gabe. Sorry, I'm just distracted by Drew Lock running rampant right now. But the Cowboys have scored 21 unanswered on the Giants here in the middle game here on Thanksgiving. How about a defensive touchdown for the Cowboys? This might be the greatest name in NFL history, Gabe. DeMarvion Overshown.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe Louis Riddick was on Twitter he was high on him during the draft, so he's kind of pounding his own chest going, oh, look at this. Somebody told you that this guy might be pretty good. And now on national television, he's out there, scoring touchdowns on defense.
I think I'm one of those guys that pounds my chest when I'm right, but it bothers me when other people do it.
No, you're definitely one of the people that pounds their chest when they're right.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. Distilled 6 times, still it's just right. Tito's is known for great vodka, giving back, and doing good for dogs. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly. That's Gabe Neitzel. I'm Alex Strouf, hanging out with you about an hour away from kickoff right here at Lambeau Field. Just had the 1 hour until kickoff fireworks go on. Gabe, I have done every home game at Lambeau Field. I've done every show for the last 2 years. It still scares the crap out of me every time the fireworks go off an hour before.
Do you need to set an alarm on your phone? That way you know it's coming, like 30 seconds before it's going to be going off. Hey, okay, it's coming. Now I have to prepare myself and I'm ready.
You're a problem solver. I respect that about you.
I try to come up with ideas to help you. People helping people, especially during the holidays. It's powerful stuff.
Powerful stuff indeed from Gabe Neitzel. We will continue to roll out. We've still got 10 ahead. The Gruber Law Office is one call. The Island Resort and Casino best bets, our game picks, and some more analyzation of this quarterback battle. Tua versus Love, 2 quarterbacks drafted in 2020. We will dive into all of that and more. An hour left to go. It's Green Bay Game Day presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
We're back with Green Bay Game Day after this on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Give thanks and enjoy a carbless this November. Hey, it's ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman. 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and gluten-free. Carbless premium craft cocktails are perfect for your Thanksgiving feast or fall gathering. Enjoy full flavor and no guilt. It could be the margarita tequila cocktail, black raspberry or lemon lime vodka cocktail, or any one of the variety of options Carbless offers. For me this Thanksgiving, I'll be grabbing a cranberry Carbless. It's a perfect pairing. Keep the food coma at bay and say thanks Carbless while taking a sip. Cheers to a lighter holiday season with Carbless.
Football fans, get ready to elevate your game day experience. Milwaukee Broadhouse downtown has the ultimate package for stress-free fun this football season. With rides starting at $85 per person, hop on the round-trip buses from Milwaukee Broadhouse downtown for every green and gold home game. Enjoy all you can drink on the ride and a private restroom. Want even more? Upgrade your ticket and add on an all-you-can-eat and drink tailgate package for an additional $30. Spots are filling up fast. Book today at MilwaukeeBroadhouse.com. Milwaukee Broadhouse, located on MLK Drive downtown.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats.
And free groceries.
Okay, just calm down. We'll get to that later.
Stay tuned in right here to score free groceries.
Stop, please.
Okay, I'm shutting up. My lip is zipped.
Anyway, let's get to this week's specials at Century Foods.
Now through Wednesday, save on 6 to 24-ounce selective varieties, Frito-Lay party-sized chips, salsa, or dip, 2 for $9. 9.5 to 10.5-ounce selective varieties, Hostess mini donuts, 2 for $4. 7.9 to 11.5-ounce selective varieties, Bear Creek soup mix, 2 for $7. 48-ounce selective varieties, Kemp Simply Crafted ice cream, $4.49.
And now time for the big reveal. Free groceries.
That's too over the top. Try this. Win free groceries from Century Foods.
Win free groceries from Century Foods.
Forget it. I'll handle the rest. Enter to win $500 worth of free groceries on Century's Facebook or Instagram by January 8th.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that American Family Insurance agents can help build a customized renter's policy so you can protect stuff like this, or this, or even this. Well, case in point. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Keep the elements out of your home with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
We had howling wind coming through. The rooms were freezing. We were very apprehensive about changing them because we were worried about losing the charm of the home. We went with Pella because we knew that they had an amazing reputation. We knew that they were going to have the windows that would look like they'd been there forever, but with all the functionality that a window should have.
Order today and get no interest and no payments for 12 months. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we offer a wide range of beautiful wood designs for installation within your unique home. Because wood is a natural material, it can be painted, stained, or left natural to complement your unique home decor. Experience nearly endless possibilities from Pella, featuring maximum design flexibility with dramatic sizes, custom colors, finishes, profiles, product types, and more. Order today and get no interest and no payments for 12 months. Visit PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Ends 11/30/2024.
Are you looking for a way to make an impact this holiday season? Donate to Life Navigators Soap Suds Drive. It's simple. Your donation of body wash, hand soap, lotion, or laundry pods will help local kids and adults with disabilities stay safe, happy, and healthy all year. Please consider donating this holiday season to the Life Navigators Soap Suds Drive. Learn more on how you can donate at lifenavigators.org. Life Navigators has been your disability partner for 75 years. Learn more at lifenavigators.org.
Welcome back to Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
When the going gets tough, the tough get going. One love, one life.
The Pitbull party rolls on your Thanksgiving. No Pitbull performance. No Pitbull performance at halftime tonight at Lambeau Field. That will be done by the violinist Lindsey Sterling. Which I'm not super familiar with her work, so I'm not going to trash her. I'd just say I think people would be a little bit more excited if it was Pitbull.
Are you going to the game? Are you going to go in?
No, I am not going to go in. I'm going to go belly up at an establishment on the east side of Green Bay that may or may not specialize in chicken wings. I know it's a turkey holiday, but still got to give some love to the chicken wings that I haven't had in probably just about a year. So, looking forward to that. Gabe Neitzel, Alex Strouf hanging out with you here on Green Bay Game Day. The 2020 NFL Draft included several quarterbacks. Gabe, Joe Burrow was the number 1 overall pick.
He's pretty
Jordan
good.
Love, of course, drafted there. Yeah, he's pretty good. Tua Tagovailoa was also in that draft. Where do you think these guys rank amongst each other? I would imagine of that draft, in the first round at least, Jordan Love and Tua Tagovailoa, probably the two closest together.
Yeah, I mean, Burrow, and especially what he's accomplished, and even though the Bengals as a team aren't very good this year, he might be having his best phenomenal year. He's been spectacular, and then his team, it's not his fault that his defense can't stop anybody. Jordan Love and Tua are closer. And if we're being honest, even though if we're talking about which quarterback would you want for the future, I'm picking Jordan Love. But in terms of accomplishments and statistics and where he kind of stands in the league, Tua has done things that Jordan hasn't done. He's been afforded obviously more opportunities. He's been starting for longer. He's led the league in passing yards. He's been very efficient. He's done things Jordan just hasn't done yet. And again, I'm not saying that I think he's better, but in terms of what has he done in the league, his resume is longer than Jordan Love's.
It is, and really 5 starting quarterbacks in that 2020 NFL Draft. The 2 I didn't mention, Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert and Jalen Hurts of the Philadelphia Eagles, who was a second-round pick. Is Jordan Love, at least right now, and obviously we have plenty of time to change the narrative on this, does Jordan Love rank number 5 of those 5 guys because all of them have had more opportunities? 2 of them have made it to a Super Bowl. Justin Herbert has that Chargers team playing really well despite the loss on Monday. I would imagine Love probably ranks 5th as it stands right now.
I think you could make a case, and I think I would make the case that he's 4th. I would personally put him ahead of Tua, obviously, based on his contract that he got, a little bit more money than Tua Tagovailoa. I think that, you can certainly factor that in as well, but you would have a hard time putting, Jordan Love ahead of Justin Herbert, I think, in a lot of people's eyes, even though Jordan has that playoff victory on his resume that Herbert and Tua don't have. But, I mean, when those other 2 guys, yes, they haven't won a Super Bowl, but they each have been to one. Jalen Hurts has been MVP, runner-up. Their resumes are very, very impressive. That is such a good quarterback class. You think about all those guys that are getting extensions and big money extensions to be, that is one of the best quarterback classes. It could be one of the best quarterback classes of all time.
No, totally. It's as things are trending right now, it certainly could go down as if not one of the best quarterback classes of all time. Now, we've talked a ton about potent offenses. I want to play a little game. I have no idea how this is going to go. Ashton Rotman back in the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue downtown Milwaukee. Ashton, do you have some football music you can play for me? Thank you. So setting aside Tua, setting aside Jordan Love, I want to go through the skill position players in this game. Okay. And just see who has the advantage overall. Okay, so I would guess if we were drafting them, Gabe, Tyreek Hill would be the number 1 pick.
Tyreek Hill ends up being the number 1 pick.
Who's the second pick?
So what, is this down to Waddle, or do you want the running back right away?
I want the running backs. Yeah, I want the running backs in it. I'm just curious, if you are going to stack an offense, is Josh Jacobs second or is Jalen Waddle?
Jalen Waddle's probably second.
And then Jacobs third?
And then Jacobs is third. Wide receivers are just more valuable in the NFL than running backs are. It's an unfortunate fact of life. Although, this could be turning. You see the way that Jacobs and the importance that he has been to Green Bay.
Absolutely.
You see what Saquon Barkley means. And again, they've got a lot of weapons out there in Philadelphia. But you're starting to see these upper echelon running backs really have a big time impact, to the point where we're talking about, can Saquon Barkley, end a 12-year drought for running backs and be the league MVP?
All right, let's keep going, because I want to see how long we go before we touch a Packers wide receiver. Who would you pick next? Would you go with one of the Dolphins running backs? Would you pick Jonnu Smith here?
Devon Achane is probably next. Man, because that's the thing. If you want to take a Packers wide receiver, who are you taking first? It's Jaden Reed.
It's Jaden Reed.
But the problem with Jaden Reed is he can't beat man-to-man coverage.
No, especially not the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, this is, and this is where I've kind of, when you talk about the Packers and can they be a Super Bowl team and all these different things, the wide receivers just haven't developed enough. For my liking.
Okay, so that's an interesting thought. And Ashley, you can keep the music playing, you can kill it, you can do whatever you want. The point I'm trying to make is the Packers wide receiver core. We've talked all offseason, right? It could be their superpower that they don't really have a number one guy. But I'm starting to view it as a problem that nobody has evolved into the true number one. Reed's had his flashes. Watson's had his flashes. Dobbs has had his flashes. Dontavian Wicks really hasn't had his flashes. He's had a lot of dropped passes here in 2024. I view it problematic that a guy hasn't truly emerged. Not necessarily as a true number one, but as that reliable target for Love, because it seems like week by week it changes who that is.
So if there's somebody out there who's listening who disagrees, let's frame this a different way. Of those top 4 wide receivers for the Packers, who is definitively better today than they were a year ago?
It's not Wicks.
Nope. Not Watson. Not Dobbs.
It's not Watson. It's not Dobbs.
Reed is the only one you can make the case for that he's grown a little bit.
I think you can make the case.
I think you can make the case for Jaden Reed. But that's it.
But the last 2 weeks derail that argument. That's the thing I'm getting tied up on.
Yeah, not necessarily, because he had inconsistencies a year ago. He's a second-year wide receiver. The inconsistencies are still going to exist. And at the end of the day, his numbers at the end of this season are going to be better than they were a season ago. So I think you can definitively say, hey, look at this growth. Look at the catches he has. Look at the targets. Look at the yards. I think you're going to be able to point to all of those things and say, hey, this is a guy who is growing. I think that Wicks continues to grow, but it's more in the advanced analytics. It's more in the abstract of, hey, look how open this guy can get. Again, when you can't catch the ball, it doesn't matter as much. But I think that still matters in terms of his growth, and hopefully he can continue to develop in the future. He's not somebody I am counting on this year to be a big contributor for the rest of the way. Could he contribute today because you have the injury to Romeo Dobbs? Right. Absolutely. But I'm not anticipating him being a huge part of this offense for the remainder of the season if Dobbs, Watson, and Reed are all healthy.
Yeah, in case you missed it, 3 key starters missing today for the Packers. The aforementioned Romeo Dobbs, Jair Alexander, and Edgerrin Cooper, who missed Sunday's game against the 49ers, also out tonight against the Miami Dolphins. Gabe Neitzel, Alex Strouf with you. The Dontavian Wicks thing is so intriguing to me because and we've done this so many times, and it's probably a bad thing that we continuously compare him to this guy, but it's who it's reminiscent of. It's Davante Adams, because Davante Adams was always one of the best route runners in the league as soon as he got to Green Bay. He just couldn't hang on to the football in his second year. That's what's happening with Dontavian Wicks. Still think he ranks number 3 or 4 in terms of drops, which is a good sign because that means Jordan Love is continuing to go back to him. But it's just
he's not
working.
Playing as much. He's not playing as much either. That kind of helps. When the targets go down, I mean, he had a game with 13 targets earlier this year. And the Packers aren't throwing the ball as much as they were, earlier in the year, especially when you take a look at the last 2 weeks. His snaps have certainly gone down. I don't know if he's somebody that they necessarily trust. Now, he had the 25-yard reception last week, so he's still getting, opportunities here and there. I think he's still a developmental project as a fifth-round pick. That's the thing. You have to remember, he's a fifth-round pick. This guy wasn't a first, second-round pick the way that Watson was, right? To me, Christian Watson, that was so concerning last week with Christian Watson. I was just kind of hoping we were past that, and he had the big game. Not that I'm expecting him to have 4 catches for 150 yards every week, but you drop an easy one like that, and
it hurts.
That's, it goes,
But here's apologist Alex Strouf coming to life here, Gabe Neitzel, is there's been so many drops on the Packers roster this year. I forgive him because it was his first one. But you're right. I mean, that is problematic. When you have a wide open lane to the end zone like Watson did, and you could essentially put the final nail in the coffin on that game before halftime, and you miss the opportunity, it's an issue.
Yeah, because that could have deflated the Niners, right? And Jason talked about it before. He catches that. You respond right away to what the Niners did, and even though they're getting the ball, who cares? It's now 24-7. You guys aren't coming back. He drops it. Oh, it's 17-7. Okay, we got to make sure, you got to lock down. Unfortunately, they did. They got the big play from McKinney to get the stop on 4th down, and they didn't look back the rest of the way and were able to close that game out. But the receivers are still incredibly young. They're still growing. They're still trying to figure some things out. And Christian Watson, if you want to make an excuse for Watson, it's he hasn't had the same level of gameplay as some of the other guys because of the injuries he's had in the past. And because he's coming from a smaller school, like the learning curve is going to be a little bit steeper. Yes, the raw tools of the size, the speed, the athleticism, all there. And maybe that just takes a little bit more time because his growth was stunted a little bit because of the hamstring injuries that plagued him in the past. And hopefully, at least through at this point in the season, it seems like that could be a thing of the past.
This feels like a Christian Watson game to me. Obviously, Jalen Ramsey is lining up on the other side, who's still a very good corner. But it just feels like with Dobbs out, it feels like a Christian Watson game to me. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means he's in the end zone. I don't know if that means he gets 100 yards receiving. It just feels like after seeing what happened to him last week, this feels like a rebound game for Christian Watson.
So that means Bo Melton's having a big game, right?
That is exactly what that means.
Because it seems like anytime, I think this guy can have it, then it ends up being somebody else. It's just been all over the place with the wide receiving.
And I mean, it very well could be, and we talked about this a little bit last week, 4 days ago on the show when we were previewing the Niners game here just outside of Lambeau Field. We said, it kind of feels like a Jaden Reed game because he was really quiet against Chicago, and then he was really quiet against San Francisco. So maybe this is a Jaden Reed game. I don't know. I can't predict it. It's like shaking a magic 8-ball. Yes, which Packers receiver will stand out today? I don't know. Shake again, right? Like that's what this feels like.
So the other thing, again, going and not to overharp on this point with the wide receivers, and the reason why I think Jaden Reed's really the only one that's grown. When you take a look at these four, and you take a look at other teams across the league, the really good teams, the ones that we were talking about with the Eagles and the Detroit Lions. Okay, where would some of these guys slot in? And the best I think you could say is Jaden Reed is maybe a 2. The rest of them are 3s. And until they start growing into 2s and hopefully a number 1, this offense is not going to reach its full potential. There's still a lot of potential. I mean, we see it. I mean, the 8th in yards, they still manage to score points despite not being, one of the top in the top half of the league in red zone touchdown percentage. So you see the potential, and you're hoping that you can get the growth and the consistency. But until this wide receiving core can grow into, even if it just grows into a bunch of number 2s, that's going to just really up the floor and just the bottom of what the team can be. But right now, it's really a bunch of 3s and Jaden Reed, who, again, you think you can make a case as maybe a 2, but that's what's, to me, holding back the Packers' offense in terms of fully reaching that potential. That being said, the offense is still very dangerous, as we've seen. They can still score points each and every week.
Yeah, and the encouraging part with this Packers team, not only this specific Packers team, but obviously dating back to last year and past years under Matt LaFleur, Something, and maybe the biggest compliment you can give a head coach in any sport is that you play your best football at the end of the regular season. Matt LaFleur's teams typically do that. I think the one that, and there were still slip-ups last year, right? The Tommy DeVito game, the Baker Mayfield game, right? There are still examples of that not happening. The loss to Detroit a couple of years back in Rodgers' final game.
But even before that, they had like a 4 or 5 game winning streak, leading up to that game.
Overall, it seems like Matt LaFleur teams find ways to go on heaters towards the end of the year. Here we are, November 28th. We are getting toward the end of the year in Week 13. So this seems like the perfect game to maybe go, oh, Jordan Love just finally threw for 300 yards. Oh, we have 2 100-yard receivers tonight. There's something of the like where you look at this offense and go, yeah, that's the product we've been waiting to see. Despite a dominant win last week, I still don't think I've looked at this Packers offense and go, there it is. I'm waiting on that moment.
Yeah, and the same thing last week because there were a couple of key drops, one by Dobbs. We keep mentioning the one by Watson. Even though they scored 38 points last week, I think that you're going, okay, that's close. That's getting better. Mm-hmm. We're almost there. Mm-hmm. And you hope that can continue over to tonight. And this was the game last year on Thanksgiving against the Lions where they started to finally find their stride as an offense. They came out swinging with the deep ball to Watson right away, and then they were off to the races for the rest of the season. So they had the confidence to beat the Lions, to go and beat, the Kansas City Chiefs, to win their final 3 games of the regular season, to go into Dallas and do what they did. That confidence and that belief all started right around this time. And if they're not going to be a team that catches the Lions, this is when you got to start ramping it up. If you are hopeful that this team can replicate what they did in 2010, you're hoping that they can start to get hot and start playing their football in later as the season goes on. And that means eliminating a lot of the mistakes that we've seen through the first 11 games.
Red zone failures, penalties, drop passes, Jordan Love throwing interceptions. Am I missing any?
No, those are the 4.
Yeah.
Those are the 4. And I would like to see somebody emerge as more of a star. All these teams, and I've harped on this all season long, whether you want to call it blue chip players, star players. Right now the Packers have 2 stars. They got one on offense, they got one on defense. They got Xavier McKinney, they got Josh Jacobs, guys that weren't here a year ago. You need more stars. Yeah, thank you, Joe Shane. We need guys to emerge. We had that last year. Christian Watson certainly did. Aaron Jones certainly did late in the season. Jordan Love certainly did as the year went along. And I would even argue Jair, after the suspension, played pretty well for the Packers. So you need some of these guys to step up and either play up to the potential or start living up to some of that potential that they have.
Gabe, I'm sensing you've got a little extra juice here as we're only about 35 minutes away from kickoff. You seem like you're a little fired up for this one.
I am, because I think that this is the point where they got to start playing and start cleaning up some of these mistakes. And this is an opportunity against a team, with last week I was hoping that could be the game, and then you did what you were supposed to do. Hey, that team was wounded, and you took care of business. Hopefully the Niners are not going to be a team you have to worry about. But this is a team in the Miami Dolphins that they're just starting to believe in what they can do because they've got their quarterback back. They're a game out of a playoff berth over in the AFC. They want to be spoiler. They want to sneak into that postseason and be a team that nobody wants to play. And you've got an opportunity. So that's a hungry team coming into Lambeau Field tonight. So if you beat that, that to me is impressive. That might be, again, if they win this game, depending upon how it goes, this could be even more impressive than what they did against the Houston Texans earlier this season. If they play a complete game, it could be more impressive than what they did against the Arizona Cardinals. And that gives you some good momentum and continues to build good habits going into a pretty big showdown next week.
No doubt about that. I mean, it is go time, right? As we inch near December here, coming up this weekend, it's go time for this Packers team. If they want to win the NFC North, it's go time. I don't think you can lose another game. And look, they've got to jump some hurdles, right? Tonight is one. Next Thursday is one against Detroit. December 29th against the Vikings is a big one. You've got to win those games, and you put yourself in a position to have a chance.
And we've got Tausch here, and I know we brought it up on our show, and Tausch talked about it. He was on Green Bay game night, and he admitted maybe he had a Tito's or two, and he was fired up after the Packers beat the Niners 38-10, that he said, they're the second. It's the Lions and the Packers. Those are the 2 best teams. That would mean the Packers are elite. I'm not there yet. I think this team is very good. Yes. I think they continue to grow. I think they're going to be pretty elite next year. But
Agreed.
If they want to be elite this year, okay, this is a game you got to have some guys show up. You got to show up. You got to take care of business. And yes, the Dolphins are a scary team with their speed, but you got to find a solution. That's up to the coaching staff. That's up to guys like Carrington Valentine, Keyshawn Nixon. Guys like that need to step up defensively.
Whew, I'm fired up for this one. Gabe Neitzel's got me ready to run through a brick wall, baby. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
I'm glad. Usually we get to this portion of the program and you're like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this one.
Yeah, look, I'm nervous. There's no doubt about that. Of course I'm nervous. This is a hot team. This is a good offense against a wounded defense. But this is a big one, and the Packers have a lot to prove still. And tonight is just the premier opportunity, national spotlight, to prove, hey, we belong, right? Like Tausch says we belong. Now it's time to prove we belong. We're right up there with the Eagles and the Lions. Gabe Neitzel, Alex Strouf with you. Couple segments left. Coming up next, we have the Island Resort and Casino Best Bets, and we are going to throw a little twist on this. The Gruber Law Office's one thanks. And you can't thank Joe Shane again because he already did that. So we will do both of those. Coming up next, Green Bay Game Day presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
Stay right here. Green Bay Game Day will be right back on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Green and gold fans, it's game day. And you know what that means. Tailgating with friends and raising a glass to our favorite team. This season, make Bacardi the star of your pregame party. Whether you're mixing up a classic Bacardi and cola, refreshing Bacardi lime and soda, or a smooth spiced and cola, Bacardi is the perfect pick for game day fun. Grab a bottle and get ready to cheer on Green Bay with the best in hand. Available now at your local retailer. Live passionately, drink responsibly. Bacardi USA, Miami, Florida. Rum 40% alcohol by volume.
At Cousin Subs, the bigger your smile, the better we feel. That's why our menu features something for everyone, like our Wisconsin cheese curds, golden fries, creamy shakes, and mac and cheese, all paired with your favorite sub or our subs in a bowl. And don't forget our kids' meals, now with a free cookie. Here's to a better day. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
Bengo made his list and checked it twice. Turns out Bucs fans are really nice. Slay the holidays with a limited time ticket offer that will land you at the top of Bengo's nice list. Score gifts for the Bucs fans in your life and treat yourself too. Holiday packages feature ticket codes to redeem now or use later, exclusive Bucs holiday items, and an e-gift card that can be used to eat, drink, and be merry at Pfizer Forum. Explore options at bucks.com/deal season.
Ready for the best Black Friday prices guaranteed? You'll find them at Fleet Farm. Doors open Friday at 5 a.m. with a free plush penguin for the first 500. Then enjoy great deals like a Blackstone griddle with free cover and accessories for just $199.99. A Milwaukee Pack-Out Toolbox System with free organizer is only $229.97. Plus, take 30% off all in-store footwear. And if you can't wait, early Black Friday shopping starts Wednesday at 8 p.m. Online only. Only at Fleet Farm.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields. If you're looking for a truly unique luxury SUV, look no further than the new Range Rover Sport at Land Rover Waukesha.
The new Range Rover Sport SUV provides power, performance, sporting luxury, and all the latest technology and connectivity you want, plus the most luxurious ride.
And now is a great time to get an offer like this.
Get 3.9% special APR financing for up to 48 months on a new 2024 Range Rover Sport at Land Rover Waukesha. Go to LandRoverWaukesha.com.
All you men, listen up. It's future Mrs. Brust here. I want to tell you about my wonderful experience at Robert Hack Diamonds. My fiance Ben and the team at Robert Hack picked out my dream engagement ring for me, and then I personally worked with their team to pick out the perfect wedding band. Experience what I did at Robert Hack Diamonds. Stop in at their Brookfield or Greenfield location. While you're there, mention ESPN and spend at least $2,000 right now on any of their in-stock jewelry and get a free pair of 2-carat total weight diamond studs. It's a deal you can't pass up. If it wasn't for Robert Hack Diamonds and their team of jewelry experts, I wouldn't have trusted my fiance Ben to make the right call. View what they have in stores online at roberthackdiamonds.com and get free diamond stud earrings. All you have to do is mention ESPN at their Brookfield or Greenfield locations when purchasing at least $2,000 of in-stock jewelry. I promise you won't be disappointed.
Get ready for the moment we've all been waiting waiting for. It's the 300K season finale giveaway at Potawatomi. Friday, December 20th, watch your entries from Bird Bash, Cash Clash, and Winter Stash. All pile into one massive drawing for a chance at up to 50 grand cash. Be there to win your share. December 20th, only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Learn more at paysbig.com/finale. Must be 21 years old to play.
You're listening to Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Never happened.
The Pitbull Power Hour. The Green Bay Game Day pregame show on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ, presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. That is the masterful Gabe Neitzel, who is on a heater right now, man. I hope Matt LaFleur coaches the way Gabe Neitzel is radioing right now, because he is on a total heater. I'm Alex Strouf, hanging out with you. Ashton Rotman running the show for us tonight. It is time now to take a look at some of our best bets, which are presented by the Island Resort and Casino. The Island Resort and Casino, a premier resort destination, the largest north of Milwaukee, with everything you'd like to do in one awesome location. Visit islandresortandcasino.com. Book your total experience today. Both quarterbacks, Gabe, are listed at the same yards tonight. 246.5 is the line for both Tua Tagovailoa and Jordan Love. If you are more confident in one of them to go over that mark, who is it?
I'm oddly more confident in Jordan Love to go over that mark. I think there are going to be some opportunities, some big play opportunities off the play action. I think especially early, maybe trying to, hey, they're going to run the football. They've run it the last couple of times. Maybe they take advantage of that, try to go play action, hit some of those shots. Maybe they are able to complete them. I just feel that with Tua, maybe they're going to try to run it. The Packers have struggled a little bit against the run. Maybe they have some success there, and you see Tua stay under that 246 number.
Yeah, I feel the other way. I think it's Tua because I think they're going to be playing from behind for a majority of this game. We've seen the Packers after the bye come out fast, right? Get a touchdown right out of the gates. If Miami wins the toss and defers, of course, which is what's required because the Packers do like to defer. If the Packers get out to an early lead, I think they're going to be playing from behind, and Tua's going to be slinging that pill quite a bit, as our friend Joshie DiMaggio would say. So I'll take Tua on that, but truthfully, I think this could be like I've said all night, I think this could be a points fest. So both of those quarterbacks could easily go over that number. 76.5 only on the ground. This is just rushing yards for Josh Jacobs. 76.5. They've been utilizing him big time. But now we've seen in recent weeks that number continues to go up for Josh Jacobs at 76.5 this week. That is 12 more than it was a week ago.
I am going to say under. I think you get a little bit more balance out of Brooks tonight. You get a little bit more out of Emmanuel Wilson. They've given him so many touches the last couple of weeks. I think you have to tamp that down just based on it being a short week. And you got to try to trust those guys. And I think that what we've seen out of Brooks, out of Wilson, they'll step up. Packers will still run the ball. They'll be efficient running the ball, but maybe not efficient with Josh Jacobs because he's going to have fewer touches.
9 games played last year for Chris Brooks. Only carried the ball for about 100 yards, only had 19 carries on the air. Are you aware which team Chris Brooks played for a year ago?
I am not.
They are playing them tonight, the Miami Dolphins. A revenge game of sorts for Chris Brooks, Gabe. Come on.
Sorry, I was not familiar with the 19 touches that Chris Brooks possessed last year for the Miami Dolphins. That's on me. Hey. I'll be better. I'll be more prepared next week.
Thank you. I appreciate you owning up to that. Accountability, something Gabe Neitzel is fantastic at. 47.5.
And Matt Eberflus is terrible at.
Well, good pop. Good pop. That was awesome. Well done. 47.5, the over-under tonight, Gabe.
So I've got it. What did I say? 28-24. So I've got the over. I've got the over in the in the total there, but just barely. And I think you're going to say over because you think it's going to be a points fest, right?
Yeah, I think one of these teams is definitely getting into the 30s, and the other will be in the 20s. So 30 plus 20 equals what, Gabe?
That would be 50.
Yeah, it is correct. Good job. Wow, math whiz too. Accountability and math. This guy.
I'll tell you what. I mean, Platteville. I'm bringing down the average math score coming out of Platteville. Bunch of engineers, but even I can do that simple math.
Yeah, me too. And as Ashton Rotman will tell you, and as you will tell me, math, not my thing. Not my.
Especially
nobody
at 7
worse than
a.m.
math. Yeah, 7 a.m. is rough when I fill in with you on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. All right, final thoughts. Oh, no, we got to do the Gruber Law Office's one thanks. I'm sorry, I almost skipped right over it.
Come on, man.
He was very excited for this, too, so Gabe's probably mad at me, but it's all right. Time now for the Gruber Law Office's usually one call, one prediction for the game. We're going to give thank you to somebody, whether that's a Packer, whether that's a Dolphin, whether that is completely unrelated. We're going to give thanks on this Thanksgiving. Gruber Law Offices is a reputation for winning. Their experienced and powerful team works tirelessly to help people and families seriously injured in accidents by providing the best care and service. There is never a fee until your case is won. Gruber Law Offices has been serving the people and state of Wisconsin for over 35 years. Gruber Law Offices, one call. That's all. One thanks. That's all, Gabe.
So it's one thanks, but I am going to split it between two different people because I think they both have a huge hand in what the Packers' offensive line has been. And I think that's offensive line coach Luke Butkus and offensive coordinator Adam Stenovich. I mean, again, we come into the season thinking, oh, they're going to move on from Josh Myers. He's been okay. He's been a fantastic football player for them this year. They have a 7th-round pick starting at left tackle. They had a rotation and a plan for Jordan Morgan. He goes down, and it doesn't matter. This offensive line unit has been such a strength for the Packers. I am thankful for the good coaching staff and it's been going on for years, no matter who's been there. Obviously, Steno, the previous offensive line coach. So I think with those two at the helm of the offensive line, they're just going to continue to get better and be able to develop a lot of the different offensive line prospects the Packers continue to draft. So they've been really, really good this year. I think they're an undervalued part of what the Packers have been so far this season. So I think those two coaches deserve a shout-out and a special Gruber Law Office's one thanks. That's all.
One thanks. That's all. It's catchy. I like that. My one thanks is going to go on the other side of the football, but it will go to the man in charge of the other side of the football. Jeff Hafley, thank you for giving me faith in a Packers defense. I am 25 years old. I grew up here. Not a lot of D coordinators that give me a lot of faith over the last 25 seasons, Gabe. Jeff Hafley has done that, and I'm thanking him especially on a day like today, not because it's Thanksgiving, but because the other side has a familiar face running their linebacking unit and the run game coordination. That would be Joe Barry, who has joined the Miami Dolphins this season. I saw a picture of him floating around Lambeau Field saying hey to everybody, all of his old pals and security guards here at Lambeau Field. Joe Barry owes us how many rushing yards from the running back crew tonight, Gabe? Like 300?
The Packers got to go for $120, right? $120 plus.
Combined, yeah, at least $120.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Between all three, if I'm not saying one guy goes for that, I'm saying they have a good, efficient, $120 tonight. 25 carries, $120, something like that.
I don't think that's enough for the pain he caused us, though. Like, I think you got to double that number.
You want Niners versus Packers NFC Championship game type of numbers? That's what we're looking for.
Ironically, Raheem Mostert actually on the other side as well tonight, playing for the Dolphins, who ran for 220 against the Packers. So yes, that's exactly what I would like. I would like a Raheem Mostert performance against Raheem Mostert and Joe Barry tonight. That would be ideal. Yes, that is where my head's at.
Well, let's do it. Let's dive in, man. Like look, your boy Emmanuel Wilson. I think he's getting touches tonight. I think he's going to get 10+ carries.
I do too. Yeah, I mean, on a short week like this, as good as Josh Jacobs is, and as he's still pretty healthy for being this late in the season, it is impossible to get in the car accident that he was in last week. What do you have, 23, 24 carries last week against San Francisco? I mean, it's going to be hard on a short week to rely on him for 25 carries again. So I think you're right, my boy, Emmanuel Wilson. It was hard for me not to laugh while I said that. For those of you that don't know, Emmanuel Wilson in the playoff game against San Francisco, Gabe, myself, and Josh DiMaggio were doing a watch-along on the ESPN Wisconsin YouTube pages, and I yelled, what the hell is Emmanuel Wilson doing on the field in a playoff game? I have changed my tune on Emmanuel Wilson. I am a big fan now, and I am for him getting 10 carries tonight on Thanksgiving. So thank you, Emmanuel Wilson, as well.
I would argue he had some pretty efficient touches in that game against San Francisco as well. You were just upset. For whatever reason, you wanted every touch to go to Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones was on a heater at that point. I stand by that. Gabe Neitzel, Alex Strouf, hanging out with you here on Green Bay Game Day, presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Gabe gets you ready to run through a brick wall as we wrap up the program after this.
More Green Bay Game Day coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
It's the holiday season, my favorite time of year. Festive decorations, family gatherings, using our gift boxes. Honestly, I'm happier to see a Using Our Gift Box at my door than Santa. The Using Our Gift Box doesn't require cooking, just eating. And who's not up for that during the holidays? Make someone's day by sending them the tastiest gift in town, a box filled with Using Our's delicious sausage, cheese, and assorted goodies. Order yours today. It's easy. Just go to usingour.com and click on gifts.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Nagging pain lasting for months, difficulty performing everyday tasks, not moving like you'd like, it's time to see the doctor. And I recommend Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Anytime I've needed care, the appointments are timely, no waiting weeks to be seen, and no pressure to have surgery. It's about getting the right diagnosis and choosing a treatment plan that fits your life. No question where I turn if I'm injured again. The experts in care at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. It's orthowisconsin.com.
Gift giving is easy with an Island Resort and Casino gift card. Every person on your list can spend their time just the way they like it. Dining, going to a concert, relaxing at the Drift Spa, playing golf. No matter the reason, gift cards to the Midwest's premier resort destination are a sure bet. To order gift cards, stop by the Island Club today or call 877-ISL-SHOW. Then spread some joy because everyone knows your total experience is at the Island.
This holiday season, the Salvation Army needs your help. Bell ringers are working hard, and our service depends on generous donations like yours. Every dollar donated helps us provide meals, shelter, and emergency support to families in crisis, not just at Christmas, but all year long. From immediate need to long-term care, your donation can create lasting change in our communities. Join us in making a difference. Volunteer as a bell ringer or donate today. Visit salvationarmywi.org to learn how you can help.
For over 4 decades, one name has stood out as a symbol of excellence in automotive sales and service. It's the Boucher Automotive Group, dedicated to providing exceptional experiences to all of our valued customers.
We will help you find the perfect vehicle within your budget while respecting your time.
With 20 convenient locations, we're the one-stop destination for all your automotive needs.
At Boucher, we're your trusted partner on every mile of your journey. Riding with you every mile since 1977.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right. And naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys. Beyond the bottle, Tito's has gained a reputation for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits around the world to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's and learn more at titosvodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Basketball fans, watch DME Academy on the campus of St. John's Academy in Delafield this weekend in the Battle of the Border. 4 great teams, 2 from Canada. See high-flying Wisconsin recruit Latravian Fenderson, DePaul recruit Cruz McClure, and 6'11 center Big Sheffy. 7 p.m. Friday and 2 p.m. Saturday with preliminary games before each. Youth coaches, bring your team to see elite DME high school basketball at St. John's in Delafield this Friday and Saturday. Free admission.
Give the gift of a special night out from the Bartolotta Restaurants. Purchase a gift card at bartolottas.com and get a $20 holiday bonus for every $100 you spend. Happy holidays from all of us at the Bartolotta Restaurants, and thank you, Milwaukee.
Truck crash? Call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
I feel so stuck.
The Veterans Crisis Line is here for you. Dial 988, then press 1 to call.
You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee, a Good Karma Brands radio station. This is Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
I tell her, baby, I'm a fireball.
I know without a doubt, without a single doubt in my mind, Ashton Rotman has been waiting to play this specific Pitbull song all night. Without it, look at him dance. Okay, we'll get after a little bit. Green Bay Game Day presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. I'm Alex Strouf. That is Gabe Neitzel. Ashton Rotman is running the show. Is this the best Pitbull song, Mr. 305?
Ooh. I mean, if we're being honest, it's basically the only Pitbull song. I know there's a million of them, but this is the song.
So what you're saying is they're all basically this song?
I mean, yeah. It's like Taco Bell. All different variations of the same thing.
I mean, he's not wrong.
That's phenomenal. That's really funny. It was so funny I knocked out my camera, so now you are stuck in a frozen photo of me laughing at that comment from Ashton Rotman. I will work to reconnect the video stream, but in the meantime, we gotta wrap up the show. We got about 10 minutes left. Packers Dolphins is your Thanksgiving nightcap tonight here at Lambeau Field, which you can kind of see in the frozen picture behind me on the YouTube stream. Dolphins are 5-6. Packers are 8-3. Packers are undefeated against teams with a record 500 or worse. This would qualify at 5-6 for the Dolphins, but they have won 3 in a row since quarterback Tua Tagovailoa has returned to action. They are scoring a lot of points, by the way, since Tua Tagovailoa has returned to action. I've said it all week. It seems, Gabe, and you know, you're always honest with me. Rude, but honest. I always seem to come up with like an annoying thing I stick to throughout the week. Right? Yeah. It was 0% against the Bears. I seem to always come up with something. This week it's been points and pumpkin pie. I feel like I've said that 100 times. Points and pumpkin pie.
Okay, so how are you connecting the points and pumpkin pie?
I think we're going to see a lot of points while people eat their Thanksgiving dessert of pumpkin pie.
Okay. All right. I didn't know if it was anything catchier than that. And look, yeah, I mean, to your point, 29 points per game since Tua has been back for this team. And they've played tight games against their good opponents, whether that was Arizona right away when Tua returned, played a tight one against Buffalo on the road as well, where the Bills needed a field goal at the end of the game to win that one and essentially kind of put that division away. But the Dolphins haven't gone anywhere. The Dolphins have fought back. They have shown that they have a lot of that fight still left in them, to the point where they are now just on the outside in, looking in. It's that time of year where the graphics go up on the screen. All right, what teams are in the hunt? And the Miami Dolphins are in the hunt in the AFC. That playoff picture is pretty muddled at the bottom, but they're sitting there with that number 8 seed. A win today, even though it's an interconference game, would go a long way for the Miami Dolphins as they try to become a playoff team and dig themselves out of the hole they were in because Tua had to miss 4 games because of a concussion. So that's why this is an important game for the Packers. Yes, this is a team that's below 500, and you've had success against these teams, but this is a hot team. This is a team that's playing some pretty damn good football. And if you are who you think you are, I am, but if you are who you think you are, then you have to go out there. But if you are who you think you are, and you think you're this team that can go on this run and replicate what you did last year, you have to, like you did 4 days ago, take care of business against a team that a lot of people believe you're better than.
No doubt. And this is, it has a big game feel. I mean, it's the end of the season. It's November. It's December. Like, I think a lot of these games have big game feel. It's accentuated because it's Thanksgiving. It's the night game. It's a team that's won 3 straight. It's a team that is still trying to the other team is trying to fight their way back in the NFC North, despite having a terrific record at 8-3. And just real quick, Big Mike smiling on Thanksgiving as the Dallas Cowboys have officially beaten the New York Giants, a final of 27-20. So Mike McCarthy fighting to keep his job, as a side note. But this one's got a big game feel tonight between the Dolphins and the Packers. Gabe, I will give you the floor. How do you see this one playing out? I imagine close and points.
I'm going to say, points. I think the final is going to be 28-24 in favor of the Packers. And I think we get a bit of a bigger Jordan Love game here. I think he's going to have 3 of the 4 touchdowns. I think he's going to throw for 3. I think that the play-action passing game is going to be big for the Packers, especially as they try to take some of that weight. Hey, Josh Jacobs has done a great job. The last couple of weeks, you've been able to take some of the weight off of Jordan's shoulders. You've been able to allow him to look a little bit sharper because you've been so good when we turn around and hand you the ball 20 22 touches against the Bears, 26 touches last week against the San Francisco 49ers. All right, now let Jordan, take some of that weight from you. And I think with what they can do with the play-action game, I think with hopefully Christian Watson kind of continuing some of the things he did against Chicago last week. I know he dropped the ball. And there's going to be some bigger plays available out there to the Packers. I think ultimately they're going to come away with the victory. It's going to be tight because Miami is going to be able to move the football. But I think that the offense kind of takes that next step, shows that they're ready to start clicking this thing into gear as we turn the calendar over to December and hit that stretch run in the NFL season.
I'm with you on that. And, I do have some fears. I typically always do, as you've learned doing the show.
Well, I mean, this is the fastest team in the league. And
by far, by the way.
The reason why Goody wants to be so young, because a young man's game, because the young guys are faster. Like the Packers, he doesn't want to be a slow team, and this is the fastest team in terms of the offensive weapons that they have in the NFL. It's tough to keep up with them when you're a defense. So I think your fears are founded, is what I will tell you.
Yeah. Well, I will say this. My girlfriend's biggest issue with me. How's that for a start? My girlfriend's biggest issue.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
We're power ranking. This is how we're ending the show. We're power ranking Strouf's girlfriend's issues with him.
No. I'm just going to tell you number one, and it would be my memory's not great. So my memory is not great on last season and the Packers' record when Jair Alexander missed games. This feels like maybe the first or only second one. I mean, obviously that Vikings game he was missed, but I don't think he changes the result there. This feels like a type of game where Jair Alexander's absence really hurts the Packers, right? That allows the Dolphins to hang around and continue to score points. Because, look, I'm really impressed with Keyshawn Nixon, what he's done since moving from the slot to outside, for the most part. Obviously, there's a few exceptions to that, but overall he's been really good. Carrington Valentine's been up and down. Some games have been good. Some games haven't been so good. I worry what this defense looks like, especially in the pass defense, without Jair Alexander tonight.
So I don't think this will ease your concerns completely, because I don't think it should.
You.
Because, I mean, Jair is certainly going to be missed. This would, to your point, this is a game you would love to have him out there to try to help slow down either Waddle, either Hill. But last year, the safety position was garbage. It was trash. It was bad. This year, they have not one, not two. They got three guys they trust at safety. Because Bullard was playing more safety in the base last week as well. Yep. And then when they went to the sub package, you would drop down to nickel. You'd bring in Evan Williams. So you have three guys that you trust back there, and obviously Xavier McKinney as well. So you've got three guys who can help in those situations where maybe the cornerback play isn't as solid as you would like. And because of that, I think you can... Again, I think there are going to be moments tonight where it still stinks that Jair's not out there. But I think that can help at least tamp down the disappointment of Jair Alexander not playing, because you've got safeties and you've got great potential for great safeties on this team.
The fireworks are beautiful when it's nighttime, man. You can probably hear them popping off behind me here at Lambeau Field. This is the first true night game of the year, right? For the Packers at home?
Yeah.
I mean... I've seen the fireworks at noon. I've seen them at 3:25. At 7:15, they are beautiful.
Yeah,
green and gold all over the sky.
Yeah, 7:15 in late November, and this is a run for a lot of a lot of primetime games here. As Rob Demovsky pointed out, there is a realistic chance that they could, sprint to the end of the season with a bunch of primetime games, because I do believe that Packers-Vikings game in the penultimate week of the season has a chance to be flexed into primetime as well.
Oh. Not only a good point, but a great use of the word penultimate. I've got the Packers tonight winning 31-28. I think this is going to be a shootout. I think we are all going to be on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety. Now, I said last week was going to be a shootout against a backup quarterback. I was very wrong. So I could be very wrong
One team decided to, show up for the shootout.
That's true. Brandon Allen forgot how to play quarterback for the most part, and Christian McCaffrey just didn't look like Christian McCaffrey. So hopefully that's the case tonight with Tyreek Hill and Jonnu Smith and everybody else on that Dolphins offense. Gabe, happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for doing it. This is always a blast. And like I said, you've got me ready to run through a brick wall. This is a big one.
Hope everybody enjoys the game tonight. Don't forget, Homer coming up after with Green Bay Game Night. Shout out to Ashton Rotman for coming along for the ride today as well.
And to our other producers as well across ESPN Wisconsin, 620 WTMJ, Nate Rilling, Chrissy Birdsall, really appreciate their help here on this Thanksgiving. Gabe's right, Green Bay Game Night, Homer, Gary Ellerson, Mark Tauscher, Jason Wilde, immediately following the final whistle on these very stations and on YouTube, ESPN Milwaukee, ESPN Madison. Big thanks to Jarrett Bush, Jason Wilde, Rob Demovsky, who joined us throughout the program tonight. That will do it for us. Go Pack Go. This has been Green Bay Game Day, presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
It started with a prediction.
We'll go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe